I think I'm live.
So now native son Michael Keaton brings us in to our draft coverage here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the 2026 NFL Draft. Right by the confluence of the three rivers, right next door to Acrisure Stadium, which has been turned into a draft hall in its parking spots. 6 years of fans getting ready to watch the Raiders get put on the clock here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, since 1940. The draft is held in the fifth hotel for just 10 teams to the 300 selections over 32 rounds. 32 selections to be made tonight. Very excited. From Mendoza getting set. Here his name first up. Jeremiah Love, what's the work of eBay tonight? Spectacular shootout out of Notre Dame. Generally near his name or Arthur Reason. Ever since we go somewhere, and obviously, practice all in the top 10 picks of this draft. All of those questions soon to be answered as we welcome you to coverage of the 2026 NFL Draft on NFL Network presented by Horizon Business. Honored to be here hosting an NFL Network draft coverage for the 23rd time. I am Rich Eisen. That is Joel Platt of Fox Sports. That is Charles Davis. That is Daniel Jeremiah. And this is the commissioner of the National Football League coming to the stage with a terrible talent waving TJ Hooks and Ken Hayward.
Okay, yeah, I'm live.
Support. Here come a time and left. We send things to the stage to get things started. Come on, you better that. We have over 300,000 people. Let's go. Virginia. There you go. Welcome to the 2026 NFL Draft. We are proud to be here in a city built on grit, built on steel, and home of the one of most dominant franchises in history. Your 6-time Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers. But tonight we're going to celebrate Western Pennsylvania heritage. And as you can see, I didn't come alone. Steelers captain, 8-time Pro Bowler and Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt. And the heart and soul of the Steelers, a captain. The 2023 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year, Cam Hayward. Take it away, Cam. Pittsburgh, make some noise! This is Steelers football. Tough, physical, and built to last. But everything we do today is built on the standards set by the legends before us. Let's bring out the men who paved the way to greatness. A Hall of Famer, a true shutdown corner, a piece of the steel curtain.
Mel Blunt. Okay.
Man, let's talk some playmakers, some Super Bowl MVPs. Lynn Smith and Hines Ward. And man, we got to talk quarterbacks. 2 quarterbacks, 2 listeners, 1 speaker, Super Bowl champions in London City. Very happy, brother.
Big Ben. Terry.
It's Steelers football. Go Steelers. Okay, these winners for the next generation of stars. We're walking into the National Football League starting today. Pittsburgh, which is the moment you all been waiting for. You ready? The 2026 NFL Draft is officially open. The Las Vegas Raiders are on the top.
It's officially draft night.
It was 8-minute allotment of time for each team. First team in NFL draft history. Once upon a time, 15 down to 10, now down to 8. And the Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock, and there is their draft room in Henderson, Nevada. Daniel Jeremiah, we're expecting to hear Fernando Mendoza's name. I'll give you the floor on this young man who can't wait for that phone to ring so you can finally see.
He's going from the red at Indiana on the way to silver and black. He's in blue tonight. It's transitionary colors.
Nice.
As he's getting ready to be the first overall pick, as we expect will happen. You know, when you watch this guy, there's the thing that stood out to me the most was just the toughness. You say football players are tough, but then you see some guys, and it just looks different. The abuse that he took, the punishment that he took early in games, and his ability to snap right back.
Mendoza's going 1. It's obvious.
Late in key moment for games. That's why I use the Ryan Cobb. Matty Ice, he earned that nickname. Now back in the pocket, feet in the ground. He can get this ball up and out, down the field. Plenty of arm strength. You want to drive the ball in wet weather in Eugene, Oregon? This out route is barely about 6 feet off the ground, and it's on the money. Placing the ball. Look at these tuck window throws, showing you that accuracy at all three.
I mean, the Raiders got Kirk Cousins. They brought in a new center, ex-Raven, Tyler Linderbaum.
Championship, which still seems crazy to say. Hoosiers, that's who Fernando Mendoza is.
And you called it one of his games, big noon on Fox, I believe, 4 this year. You mentioned in our pre-draft show. What did you learn about Mendoza?
Well, I love that he's a competitor. He's all about process, and that once he's on the football field, he plays his best in the biggest moments of the game. That's what I saw time and time again from Fernando Mendoza. Is that when he needed to be great, he was at his greatest. Late the game against Michigan, like you said, DJ, these are those clutch throws that you mentioned. That's a back shoulder Elijah Surratt. They win the ball game. Big Ten championship. Up by 3. Barely for 2 minutes left. It's Thursday. You can't put a chunk of football away. What do you do? Up the next message to Charlie Pepper. The beautiful throw there. I'm dropping the light with the field inside of the mini down to after this on the end zone. Penn State, the place is going crazy. And that Cooper didn't get a foot down. Yes, he did. This guy was absolutely exceptional in those moments, and he's got the experience to back it up. You look at this century. Every quarterback that won a Super Bowl this century, he's averaged about 34 starts and 1,100 attempts in his college career. That's exactly what Mendoza has done. He's got those 71 touchdowns. That's why I believe he is perfectly suited to come in and lead an organization for a lot of years to come, and hopefully for Vegas to a Super Bowl.
It looks like somebody's on the phone having a good time with John Spytek right now. And this is how probably learning it's going down. Is with us right now. Kurt, I learned this fact when you were kind enough to appear on my show today, that a young quarterback, as he was getting set to play for Cal before he went to Indiana, reached out to you and showed up at your house to work out. His name is Fernando Mendoza. I had no idea, sir. Yeah, it was good. The beautiful thing about him then is the same Fernando that you see now. It was a young man that's passionate about the game, that wants to learn, that wants to grow, and wants to be great. And I was talking about all the traits. There's certain things that I look for that I think can transfer to the next level. And the first thing is accuracy. He stands out with his accuracy. A lot of times, tall, lengthy guys struggle with that part of it. He's very compact. No matter where he's throwing the ball on the field, it is going to be accurate. I love decisive quarterbacks. If you watched him play as these guys did, the ball comes out. He knows where he wants to go with the football. He's got great control of it, and it comes out of his hands. And then, of course, both guys talked about the big team, the 15. He's going to a place with the Raiders that have an owner that have the best.
The Raiders are taking their time. We all know what you're doing. Just go ahead and put the pick in.
And all great points by all of you. And don't forget when we're talking about that mental, physical toughness, how about resiliency? Because Joel, when you were showing those plays, something had gone wrong in all of those games when he came back and get those big plays done. And then when the game's on the line, you don't want to kick a field goal here. You want to try and put away Miami on a 4th and 5 quarterback draw called by his head coach, Kurt Signetti. He didn't just get a first down. He paid it off and gathered a national championship for the Indiana Hoosiers. No, he didn't hit a 3 at the buzzer. He hit a 6. One criticism of his you hear is, well, there are a lot of RPOs in this offense, and how's that going to translate? You can cut through that by looking at all the 37-plus throws and watching in the red zone. He was outstanding on those 3rd downs, and then the red zone. I don't know if this is good. Over the last 2 years, 38 touchdowns, no picks. That seems pretty good to me.
He throws with great leverage. You know, it doesn't throw 50-50 passes like we always hear about. Oh, this wide receiver's great in a 50-50 situation. But Indiana receivers didn't have to do that. He put the guy in the proper place. To Kurt's point on accuracy, it was more like 60-40, 70-30. He always leveraged the throw in the proper spot.
Well, the 50 team, as a matter of fact, it's the first of 257 picks. They took 257 second to put this pick in the hands of the commissioner of the National Football League and give us his announcement. His first pick, 20 drafts ago, announcing as a commissioner, was announcing the Raiders taking Jamarcus Russell first overall. Here comes the commissioner with the first overall pick of his 20th draft as commissioner is the Raiders choosing who he expects a new quarterback.
We're the first pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza.
Yep. The Raiders didn't mess up. They got the right guy. That was expected. Now the draft really begins. Who does the Jets pick at 2? Is it going to be David Bailey or is it going to be Orville Reese?
In this draft, Mendoza joining the franchise with abusive ownership. By the only other quarterback to have a 16-0 record in a single season, Tom Brady, back in 2007 regular season. Mendoza 16-0 winning it all this year for Indiana. Daniel?
Yeah, if he wants some guidance, he can just walk a few lockers away and talk to Kirk Cousins and get his advice. And if you want some more advice, why not take the stairs and go up there and talk to the greatest that's ever done it? He's also got a quarterback or a head coach who has a background being able to work and develop quarterbacks. I think he's in a perfect spot. And Linderbaum was brought in free agency. He's not going to get on the field right away with Cousins there. They're in a good spot with Fernando Mendoza.
So Raiders fans loving it in Las Vegas, Nevada at the draft party. Meanwhile, in South Florida, Taylor McGregor is standing by with Fernando Mendoza.
Well, thank you so much. In the last 5 months, you have won the Heisman Trophy, a national championship, and now you're the first overall pick in the NFL draft. How have the last 5 months changed your life?
The last 5 months has been such a blessing by God, and I can't thank him enough. I'm just looking forward to get to work, prove at the next level. College was fantastic. I'm so blessed to have that career, but now I step into a great game of the NFL. Look forward to proving and earning it every single day.
You're going to the Las Vegas Raiders. What excites you the most about this opportunity?
What a great organization, great legacy. There's so many great teammates I'm looking forward to talking to, coaches, owners. I'm ecstatic for the opportunity.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much. God bless.
Congratulations to the Mendoza family. Thank you, Taylor. And Lacacoy. They'll give you the last word on this before we turn to the rest of the draft.
The kid put the Raiders hat on before Fernando Mendoza did.
Mendoza. Expect him to play early, though. Most likely scenario for the Raiders. Kirk Cousins is their starting quarterback to begin this season.
The Jets are either going to go David Bailey or Alvaro Reese at 2.
Hopefully throughout the season. All right, now it's time for the rest of the draft to start. Pretty much. You knew Fernando Mendoza will be taken first overall. The rest is a complete mystery. It does appear that Darren Muji, the general manager, has handed the phone over to Aaron Glenn to talk to the player that they are about to take. The clock is ticking down under 3 minutes. Who do you think it's going to be?
Well, I've been saying David Bailey. Much was made about his visit getting canceled to the Jets. We're going to find out if that visit was important or not here pretty quick. You would think that they already knew all they need to know about David Bailey. He was at top 30 on Sunday Night House. But all of us trying to glean, insight into a top 30 visit that's canceled. That's kind of folly.
Yeah, and listen, if you want somebody to come in and play right away in a position that's already set, it's probably David Bailey. If you want to draft upside, it's probably Alvaro Reese. So do you want to draft a player for the future, or do you want to draft a player for next September?
It's either David Bailey or Alvaro Reese. That's the only two options, I think, at 2.
It's going to go. Arizona's already 30 seconds into their time, and there could be a trade in the offing. We don't know, because as soon as the Jets make the pick, Arizona and the rest of the league is alerted as to who has been taken. So we're waiting for the first mystery of the night to be settled.
Yeah, it's ironic they're making a pick, and they're hoping that this pick can help them get a pick next year. To go an entire season without an interception, they need some more pass rush. That's not just a coverage issue, and that's what this pick is going to be meant to. They said, what were they in sacks last year? 31st. So there is a direct correlation. When the punt doesn't pressure enough.
Arizona Cardinals already on the clock.
Choosing second overall, and the top 30 visit being canceled, we'll find out if that really did have anything to do with their choice. That could have just been in the offense. It's fake. The pizza
stands for that. And there's no graduating is going to bring 3 years. The pro day, but it was a big story. So we'll find out.
And the Jets are choosing 16th overall. They might have been using the top 30 to figure out that pick a little bit more. With the second overall pick, the first question mark of this draft, and the domino effect that will tumble the minute we hear this name.
Is it David Bailey or is it Alvaro Reese?
With the second pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select David Bailey.
It is David Bailey.
So they do take David Bailey out of Texas Tech, second overall. So much for that top 30.
I think that means Alvaro Reese is going third to Arizona.
The newest New York Jet. What do you think this means?
And to get off the ball and quick and do it in a hurry. Darren Muji came from the Denver Broncos. When you look at their edge rushers, Nick Benito was 5th in the league in fastest get off. The other edge rushers, John Cooper was 7th in the league in fastest get off. They want a fastball. This guy walking to the stage, trust me, he's going to be running to quarterbacks. He can get off the line. Joel made a great point about, are you drafting for September or are you drafting for September's heads, right? Look, we all know that there's still upside for David Bailey. But this Jets team was so bad last year, they got to start looking confident right from the word go. David Bailey gives them a great chance to do that because he's a little more ready to go pressure.
Yeah, I think David Bailey was the right decision for the Jets.
Played a lot of football. David Bailey was one of those guys that developed, coming out of Stanford and transferring. This guy was a surefire top 10 NFL draft pick, but he goes to Texas Tech. They said that his practice habits increased and he got very good in terms of the worker. And because of that, he developed himself into this pick. This is what I'm talking about. These guys staying in school and then really catching the value of that.
David Bailey, the latest player to get a Jet jersey by a commissioner in a draft in a top 10. 5-10. We'll see how he pans out. What do you think?
A big fan of his game. I mentioned that.
He's quick.
He gets over. They put that block in that entire time. He's dynamic. He can stack moves together. That shows you the instincts you feel he has the rusher. Now
He's definitely quick.
Here's the element of it right here. He can jolt you, get you off your skis a little bit, and then finish. And then the backside close. Look, his athletic is Arbel Reese. He ran 4.46. But he only ran 4.5 flat. It's not like he's a poor athlete. He can really go, and you see that and try to run away from him.
David Bailey is the highest drafting defensive player in Jets history. Quentin Williams was third overall in 2019. That was a record along with Jerry Stovall of the 1963 AFL draft, third overall. The Jets have never drafted a defensive player this high in a draft, and when you send things to the stage, Lauren Rutledge, take it away.
Come on, Monica, you're so hard for this, and now you're the first defensive player off the board in the NFL draft. What does it mean to hear your name called this early?
I mean, it's surreal to me, man. This is a great experience. This is an awesome opportunity, and I'm just so grateful, man. Shout out all the fans that came out here. I'm just happy to be here.
How will you immediately impact this Jets defense?
Man, I just want to get in there and just be a sponge, just soak up everything, just, rely on the vets, rely on the staff to make me the best player I can and, help out this organization, man. I feel like this organization's trending in the right way, so, man, I'm just ready to work.
All right, and David, in the last minute, Topps has made your first pro trading card, so go over there and sign it, okay? Congrats.
There he goes, signing his trading card, and they'll go off to New Jersey and be the latest New York Jets. So the Cardinals are on the clock. 2.5 minutes to go in their decision making. And this is, again, Bailey being the first pick, the first stone thrown in the draft pond here, the ripple effects with Arbel Reese, maybe Jeremiah Love. Look at this beautiful shot. Aerial that we have, the home of the Pirates in the foreground, the home of the Steelers in the draft home. In the background, the Cardinals draft room, something over this team that's Bonnie Austin Forth, the general manager, is back.
I think it's either going to be Oliver Reese or Francis, like an offensive lineman. I think it's Oliver Reese, though.
Things on that offensive line. There are a couple key players there, CD. You can get to that, but to me, he's such a dynamic player.
It has to be Oliver Reese.
This, and we'll see if they can try and marry him up with a quarterback a little bit later on in the evening.
And they did make efforts to improve the offensive line, getting Isaac Sandmalo, who's going to play left guard next to Parrish Johnson. I think Alec Holt's a good center for them. They're getting more play out of Isaiah Adams, Elijah Wilkinson. But Joel made the point earlier tonight, and I've concurred with it all the way through. This is shades of Christian McCaffrey. That if we had put him at a slot receiver and just let him run routes, we would know exactly what we're getting in terms of a big-time wide receiver. That's going to be interesting there because Arbel Reese is still setting him as a big-time player, and sometimes you just don't turn down. Best player available still.
If I was Arizona, I'm going Oliver Reese.
I think it's something that got to consider strongly.
I would be fascinated to see what they do at the quarterback position later tonight or even tomorrow and trying to address that position because this is one thing that you don't always talk about. You draft a running back like Jeremiah Love. Let's say that's the pick. Are they big for him to succeed right away? I think that would be a question at Arizona. But one thing I do know, if that's the pick, he's going to help you be a better offense because of all the things that he can do and how explosive he is with the football in his hands. You just don't get guys that can score that many touchdowns from anywhere on the field.
Or you tell Arbel Reese, come to us and go on the reigning MVP,
Right.
And the reigning Super Bowl champs, and the San Francisco 49ers.
And Nick Rollins, the defense coordinator, very creative.
And those are
they kept him from the previous regime.
And those are three franchises with dynamic offenses, right? So you might need Jeremiah Love to help keep up. So we're about to get the choice of the Arizona Cardinals. No trade. A lot of mobs had some teams moving up to take someone at 3. The Cardinals have stuck and picked, and here comes the commissioner to the stage right now with the 3rd overall pick.
I'm going to say Oliver Reese.
Expected. David Bailey's the choice of the Jets. We're seeing who the Cardinals have chosen. The Toppers are about 2 minutes into their time on the clock.
With the 3rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Jeremiah Love.
Wow. They went Jeremiah Love.
Good offense. And they take arguably the most.
Wow, okay. Okay, Arizona.
Running back campus of South.
Although Reese could go forward to the Titans then.
So two
Or they could go Sonny Styles.
deepest part of the NFL pool out there where the defending Super Bowl champs reside. Daniel Jeremiah, your thoughts?
Well, this is a team last year that was equally bad and boring. They're going to be a
I mean, you don't have Kyler Murray. You have Jacoby Brissett as your starting quarterback at the moment, unless they draft a QB like Ty Simpson.
You noticed his speed from his very first.
If they draft Ty Simpson later in the draft, then they actually got a rookie running back and a rookie quarterback to start the season.
You're not going to be able to run him down. He is a home run hitter. You're going to make the best thing to allow it. We can just.
But Jeremiah Love heading to Arizona.
He is a threat. Not just someone who can check the ball down to, someone who can get out into the route and left. He gets explosive back. Maybe a second part, some of that physicality and toughness. Not so much with him. He will fight his way into the end zone. And the Arizona Cardinals, to me, it's going to be a fun watch for him. And
Matches Garrison Hurst in 1993 for the highest drafted running back by the Cardinals in the common draft. That way, we turn a hard Cardinal on our team's one. What do you think?
I tell you what, guys, I know a lot of people said, look, take a running back this high. You look a year ago, Ashton Zinsky going to the Raiders and didn't have this breakout rookie year because the pieces weren't there in front of him. May ask the same question.
That he should be really good on that offense. I mean, Jacoby Brissett is not a great quarterback. He's okay. You give him a running back like Jeremiah Love. I think that's a good pick for Arizona. I thought Arizona would probably go Alvaro Reese at 3, but Jeremiah Love. If you're a Cardinals fan, I would not be upset with that.
This is my favorite game. I go to some place, you know, I mean, meaningful, and live in it. And you don't take him if you're the Arizona Cardinals and the outset for it, unless you're thinking we have a plan to address the quarterback position and put people around him. Jeremiah Love has Hall of Fame talent. That's why I was taking it number 3.
And it lets some things to know. Those on the stage with cheering.
The Titans pick is now in, and the Giants are on the clock at 5.
This night and this moment for the two of you?
It's very special. You know, my dad was the first person that believed in me. And, man, he done sacrificed a lot to get me to this point. So I got to pay him back. Got to pay my family back. And I'm looking forward to getting work in Arizona. You hear me?
I feel you. You are the first running back to be taken in the top 5 since 2018. Why were your skill set translate to the NFL?
I mean, it's just a blessing, you know. I feel very honored to represent the running backs, and I'm gonna put on for them. I'm put on for my football player. I'm put on for Notre Dame. I'm put on for my family. And last time I'm put on for the Cardinals. We're gonna do some special things together.
Congratulations, Jeremiah.
Thank you.
Okay, Arizona.
Eddie, the top, getting an idea of how this is going to be like the cardio. Ian, take it away.
A major sigh of relief for Jeremiah Love. Let me explain why. My understanding of this, his arm was red flagged at the combine, an abnormal EKGs. You continue to wonder if he had more risk than other players. They did more tests. They got his scans in Notre Dame. No additional issues. He is fine and now off the board.
So meanwhile, in the Tennessee draft room, you got to be thinking Brian Dable when you OC's like, oh man. And then the defensive side of the ball, Robert Sala is like, oh, we have our choice between Ozone Franchise and Styles. Is that what we have?
Yeah, it's between those two. I mean, those are 2 good defensive options if you're Tennessee. I don't know. I mean, Sonny Styles, you can't really pass up on a guy like him, but Alvaro Reese is still on the board at 4. I would say Tennessee, go get Alvaro Reese.
Styles is still on his oath to play Robert Styles defense. He's a perfect fit.
I think, oh yeah, Sonny Styles is a perfect fit for Tennessee.
Father changed. That's the first of their chief hits in the top 10. But for the moment, the Tennessee Titans have the center stage right now. The commissioner is coming out with their pick. Again, 8 minutes per team. So the commissioner's getting his steps in. I think his running is probably already full, right?
It's either Sonny Styles or it's Alvaro Reese.
With the fourth pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Carnell Tate.
Whoa! Wow! What? Wait, why? I mean, I get it, give Cam Ward some weapons, but you had Alvaro Reese and you had Sonny Styles on the board with Robert Saleh as the head coach.
The rest of his group, it is
Wow. I am completely shocked.
The right church in the wrong pew. I mean, stay, and it's Carnell Tate. We've been talking about it though. I'm talking about it in free agency. Man, I wish they'd do more to help Cam Ward.
Wow.
Well, look, that way to take. He's all 6th overall player. This is not something big reach. He was my top wide receiver in this draft class. This to me is about your number 1 overall pick last year, and we got to help that team out. Yeah, and they made the
Cam Ward, he now has a legit number 1 weapon.
He's got the strength to do that once he gets on top of it. He's able to.
He has a new weapon.
Justin makes big plays down the field. He has got outstanding.
I'm shocked.
The charts. If they get to his mix, he's coming down with it. And then after the catch, this is not the primary weapon he possesses. It's more down the field, but he is slippery and elusive when he gets in a little bit of space there. Route polish. You don't come from Ohio State without being a polished receiver.
I am shocked.
On his team, but he's the best wide receiver in this draft.
And that's only because the guy is going to back across that stage next year first. As his teammate in Jeremiah Smith thought Tate. Carnell Tate is exceptional. He's an exceptional young man. He's a terrific talent. He's a worker. He's a technician. He wanted that challenge of going to Ohio State and playing in that room. This is a guy that I've loved for a long time in CD. He can go get it. He is a great down the field receiver.
Listen, they invested in receivers last year. Iowa Manor, DK.
I liked Alamaner last year for Tennessee. I'm just shocked that Robert Saleh, who's a defensive-minded coach,
Tennessee
went with an offensive weapon for Cam Ward. I mean, again, Cam Ward needs weapons. I get it. But when your head coach is defensive-minded and you have Alvaro Reese and Sonny Styles on the board, I thought maybe they would go defense. But yeah, Carnell Tate, Cam Ward is excited. I would say that. Cam Ward is excited.
Faster, but the biggest surprise so far, Carnell Tate is a Titan.
Now, what do you want your new quarterback Cam Ward to know about what you bring to this Titans offense?
I'm a reliable partner for him. Whenever you need me, I'm there for him. I'm always looking.
You had a really incredible moment where you wanted to honor your late mom, Ashley, tonight. Can you show us how you had her name inscribed on the inside of your jacket? And as you're showing us, how did she help you achieve your dreams that you wanted to achieve, but there were also her dreams?
Yeah, my mom, she's my everything. She's my rock. She's my world. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. She sacrificed everything for me. I'm forever indebted to her.
I know she'd be so proud tonight, Cardinal. Congratulations.
All right, and so in the interview, the Giants made their pick, and the Chiefs traded up to 6.
The Chiefs traded up to 6?
The Kansas City Chiefs. So that's the we take on first commercial break. It's Giants Chiefs Commander Saints for the moment. We'll be right back to Pittsburgh.
The Chiefs just traded up to 6 with Cleveland. Oh no, that's not good. I thought with Washington, we would get either Sony Styles or Alvarez at that point, but now since Kansas City jumped Washington, the Chiefs are probably going to get whichever player the Giants don't get. Unless they go offensive line, the Chiefs. Wow, what a shock. The Titans picking a wide receiver Cornell Tate at 4. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. Wow. Okay. I mean, Alpha Reese is still available. Sony Styles is still available. Um, Jordan Tyson, Malachi Lemon. Any offensive linemen?
Contributed a 3 and a 5 to move up 3 spots to 6. It made their pick. The Commanders are on the clock, but the Giants first of 2 picks in the top.
Okay, who did the Giants pick at 5?
As soon as that pick came in, that's when the Chiefs traded up from 9 to 6. And again, they gave up a 3 and 5 in this year's draft to do it. The Commanders are on the clock with 6 and change left, and the commissioner has the Giants pick with some guesses.
In partnership with the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, TAPS, one of the NFL Salute to Service partners, we are honored to recognize the surviving family of United States Army Major Paul C. Volke. Major Volke sustained tragic fatal injuries while deployed in Afghanistan. He is survived by his spouse, Tracy, and their 2 sons, Andrew and Benjamin. Major Volke was raised in the Hudson Valley and was a lifelong fan of the New York Giants, a tradition he proudly passed on to his sons. Volke family, take it away.
With the 5th overall pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Football Giants select Arvell Reese.
There goes Alpha Reese. Sony Styles is still on the board. Unless the Chiefs traded up to grab him. Sony Styles is still on the board.
And partners, if you will, at MetLife. Their name
Chiefs, if you traded up with the Browns to steer Sony Styles away from the Commanders, you guys suck.
Riches now they have that can rush the quarterback for the New York Giants. I know Dexter Lawrence is no longer there, but when you already have Burns and Abdul Carter, Thibodeau's still there at the moment, and now you add another one, and these guys are all elite athletes. You think of the last two.
But at the same time, if the Commanders decide to trade this pick, I wouldn't be against that. If we can trade with maybe the Ravens or Tampa or the probably not the Jets because they just picked at 2, but like the Ravens, Bucks, or Lions, and accumulate more draft picks, I'm okay with that. If the Chiefs go Sony Styles at 6, then I would like for the Commanders to trade down. But Alvaro Reese is heading to the Giants.
It's like a long-time NFL defensive coordinator, and he immediately knew what he had with Arvell Reese, which was a versatile game wrecker. So he deployed him right away. Week 1 against Texas and Arch Manning, he was out there using him in creative ways, and that's what I would say would be his best usage during the National Football League. He'd be positionless. He creates something for Arvell Reese and a lot of that athleticism to really take care of it. I think he's a guy that's in a Micah Parsons type of mode. This is a really, really good football player that is very raw, Rich.
Well, let's get to the highlights. I can show you what he looked like on that field, as Joe was mentioning at Ohio State. Just that 1 year at the start of
The fact that he fell all the way to 5.
versatility shows up in every game. How about the ability to pursue laterally? Big time.
He has to go. Now Jaden Daniels has to outrun Alvaro Reese.
In 2 steps, he can really get going. And that's the difference between him and Bailey. He's got a little more knockback power. You see it at the vulture. You also see it at the point of attack in the run game.
That Giants defensive line is scary. You got Brian Burns on one side. They still have Kayvon Thibodeau. They just got Alvaro Reese.
I think this is something like there in that program.
Oh, there's no question about it. He's a giant now, and he's going to also play like a giant. And Joel, I think you really hit on it. I'm going to be positionless. It'd be interesting how they don't.
Wow.
They get some rest before he gets on to the next thing.
Okay.
Nationwide.
Arvell, what did the Giants share with you about how they plan to utilize you in their defense?
Oh, the Giants told me they're going to get unique with me. They said they're going to use me in a bunch of unique ways, so I'm looking forward to that.
It hasn't been easy for you, this journey. What can you say about those that have helped you all the way back to your days at Glenville High School in Ohio?
Yeah, I can't say no, but thank you. It's a bunch of childhood coaches I done had. My high school coaches, my parents, my family, my brothers. All I can say is thank you.
And you got the hat to fit, finally.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, so the top 5 is in the books. The Browns again traded down to 9. The Chiefs struck a 3rd round 75th overall, 5th round 148th overall, and move up 3 spots.
So the Chiefs traded with the Cleveland Browns and gave up a 3rd and a 5th.
That's the trade between the Chiefs and the Browns. I'll ask you what you think is up here.
But we talked about the Kansas City Chiefs being among the most aggressive teams to work. They do have 2 first rounders, couple possibilities here. Ruben Baines and an edge that they really like potentially be coming up for him. I know the corner is a need. LSU's a monster of the lane, certainly an option. And an offensive tackle has not gone yet. They could get the first offensive tackle off the board. It's a really good option for an aggressive.
I could see, they jumped Washington for a reason.
But they're managed to make the 7th overall selection as we're waiting for the 6th overall pick that belongs now to the Chiefs.
They jumped Washington for a reason.
8th overall.
So why did they decide to jump Washington? It has to be a player that might have been a commander if they didn't jump up. Who is it?
2026 NFL Draft. The Kansas City Chiefs select Mansour Delane.
It is Mansour Delane, the #1 corner in the draft.
For the 29th overall pick that they own later tonight. He's now a Los Angeles Ram, and in comes.
I had Mansour Delane falling to Kansas City at 9 in my last mock draft. But they desperately needed a corner. Washington stayed at 7. Sony Styles is still on the board. Are we getting Sony Styles? Is Washington getting Sony Styles?
That's why they felt the need to part with those picks and go up and secure the, without a doubt, top corner in this year's draft class.
And I'm glad you addressed why, because a lot of people will look at it and say, you might have been able to stick at 9 and get him. That was the thing about a lot of mock drafts. But DJ articulated so well. Washington, New Orleans both can be in the corner market. And there might be someone else who might have been up there. That's the way they're going through there.
Yeah, I think Washington could have taken Mansour Delane at 7.
As they head up to the stage, but I thought the enlistment from Virginia Tech to LSU, we saw opening night against Clemson. That's who's in good percent. Oh, he's going to be a different guy here. He's a different guy in the year long. Exactly right. I mean,
So they got their Trent McDuffie replacement.
Breakups in his career. So he knows how to go after the football, great football character and work ethics. That's what you get from the coaches.
I just remember when you go back to when McDuffie was coming out, it's like, he's a perfect player. He just doesn't have that rare size and length. And McDuffie, we know what he's become.
And all the Chiefs had to give up was a 3rd and a 5th.
This game against Clemson, CD, you couldn't slip a piece of.
That's not that bad to go up from 9 to 6.
And he can close the space. He ran in the high 4.3s, and that shows up.
Yes.
If you want to use any type of scheme zone, no problem. He's going to see it and trust his eyes break on Clay. So
That's not bad. You only give up a 3rd and a 5th, going up from 9 to 6, and you get the best corner in the draft.
From wherever he is, able to react, crawl up in the coverage, do all those things.
I would have loved Delane in Washington,
I think they're going to pick in the top 10.
but Sony Styles is still on the board.
3 or 5. Here's Laura Rutledge.
I'm sorry, you just said, wow, this is crazy. The Chiefs traded up to get you. What did they tell you about why you were so important to them?
Sure, really just the way I play the game, this confidence they have in me, they weren't really on me too much in this process, but they said they just wanted to keep it quiet and make that sneak move, and they made the best move in the draft, so I'm excited.
You were once a little boy dreaming of this very night where you would become an NFL player. What would that little boy say now?
Man, don't stop now. Don't stop now. You got what you dreamed of, but man, let's make a mark on this league.
Congratulations.
Yes, man. That's right.
It is one of those nights when Delane, the first corner, taken. And again, the Commanders used almost all 8 of their minutes. I was watching Washington as the Saints just made their pick. The pick is in as what if the Commanders pick. One would think, who do you think they would call?
Washington,
I think it's a heck of a doubt.
Sony Styles is still on the board.
For the Commanders at pick 7. He's got a team that's ready to get to it.
Sony Styles. Come on, Washington. Sony Styles. I would be okay with Jordan Tyson to get a running mate for Terry McLaurin, but I want Sony Styles.
Just the commissioner, he's got the shoulders. Yeah, it's good. It's the boss. Lynn Swan coming out of that river. Part of the Commanders selection. But the Browns are currently on the clock.
The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, is awarded to one player each year that celebrates their profound impact on and off the field. I'm joined on stage by former winners Lynn Swan and Jerome Bettis. And the league welcomed its newest member to the prestigious club 2 months ago, Super Bowl champion and 6-time All-Pro Bobby Wagner. There's a Bobby. On behalf of the Payton family and Nationwide, I encourage players drafted this week to make their community.
With the 7th pick,
Sony Styles.
the Washington Commanders select Sonny Styles.
Yes! We got him! We got Sonny Styles. Let's go! Welcome to Washington.
There who Kurt won a Super Bowl with.
Let's go! That was my #1 guy that I wanted.
Some point this weekend. This one is just made for Dan Quinn, right?
Yes. Yes.
Talking about Sonny Styles and how he would be a perfect fit for Robert Saleh because he had been around Fred Warner in San Francisco. Well,
We just got
didn't think there was any chance Sonny Styles would be there for him to take, and so they take him right.
we got a huge get at linebacker for Washington. Speed, sideline to sideline.
Shoot gets and make plays on the other side of the line.
I love this pick.
Want to take guys on, he shows he has the ability to do that, and then that legit speed shows up not only in coverage but
Let's go.
when they use him as a blitz.
Let's go. I am hyped.
Through your mind as you see the kid of Super Bowl with emotional walking to the stage being drafted.
It starts with obviously how old we are, but really cool to see Low Style Senior there, shaking the hand, giving a hug to his son. Obviously, he won a Super Bowl together back in 1999.
This is awesome. This is the guy I wanted for so long.
Sonny Styles is his versatility. He's a guy that plays.
Welcome to Washington. Welcome to Washington.
He can play on any and every down.
Pair him up with Leo Chanel.
Simply winning the Big Ten.
Yes. Yes.
Number 0 last year is this the Buckeye, right? Keep either side of the ball.
That Commanders Sony Styles jersey looks clean. I have to get a Sony Styles Washington Commanders jersey now.
His athleticism, his instincts. He did well the first year.
That is awesome. Put him in Dan Quinn's defense. We got ourselves a scary linebacker.
And in Ohio State, when you're an All-American, they plant a tree in your honor. Sonny Styles told James Hilton that was one of his major goals was to get that tree. And once he knew he was an All-American, James Hilton said, let's be the because we get to share that honor. I know that CD recently has become a forest. Now, there's no question about it. All sorts of All-Americans. Just when the holidays step up, they're up to get a tree.
So the Saints pick has been in for about 7 minutes.
The only issue now with Washington is we picked Sony Styles at 7. Now we don't have a draft pick till 71. But this is the guy I wanted.
Excited to be part of the organization. Coach Quinn, Mr. Peters, the whole staff. I was at the so I told Coach Quinn, I said, I hope they'll be back soon. They said it soon. So I'm super happy.
You have now been drafted. Your brother Lorenzo Jr. will be drafted this weekend. What do you remember about being little boys and imagining this night?
He's my best friend, my inspiration. Just chasing around. We dreamed about this since we were 5 years old. So to see it all happen, we living out the dream. But it's just the beginning. Just the beginning.
Enjoy this.
That's it. Thank you.
One of the best combine performances we've ever seen on NFL Network, Sonny Styles. So we're 2 picks behind. The Saints and the Browns picks are in. The Giants are about a minute already on the clock, and then the Dolphins first at 2 picks in this draft. Right here on NFL Network. 100 years.
Let's go. Sony Styles killed the combine. I wanted Sony Styles in Washington for a few months now. I thought maybe that wasn't going to happen with Tennessee or the Giants taking him, but the Titans shocked everybody and picked Cornell Tate at 4 which let Alvaro Reese slip to 5 to Harbaugh and the Giants. And then when the Chiefs jumped Washington, I was like, oh, okay, there goes, you know, the possibility of bringing in Sonny Styles. But they went ahead and got the best corner in the draft, in Mansour Delane. And then when Sonny Styles was still on the board and the Commanders, pick was in, I knew and was hoping that it was going to be Sonny Styles, and it 100% was. What a pick. Our linebacker room, with Sonny Styles included, just got scarier, I think. I mean, we still have the linebacker we drafted late last year, in Kenny Madrano. I would like to see what he can do. And then we brought in Leo Chanel in the offseason. But Sonny Styles, pair him up with Leo Chanel. Sonny Styles is going to be awesome in this defense. He is going to be awesome. We could still bring back Bobby Wagner. He's still a free agent, but after bringing in Sonny Styles, I don't think we bring back Bobby Wagner at this point. I am hyped. This is an A+ pick. This is definitely an A+ pick. Definitely hyped. I mean, let's go. Now we got the Saints on the clock at 8. Saints pick is already in.
The Giants just made the 10th overall pick. Next up.
Who does the Saints pick at 8? Pick 8. Ruben Bain is still available at 8. They could go 8. They could go Bain at 8. They could go Jordan Tyson. They could go wide receiver with this pick.
Is it still on?
I think it's going to be Ruben Bain. It is Jordan Tyson. I said either Ruben Bain or Jordan Tyson. So the Saints got another weapon.
Might be the first receiver to go.
I think Jordan Tyson's the best receiver in this class. I like Jordan Tyson.
Biggest surprises of the night went 4th overall to Tennessee. But what do you think of this pick to New Orleans?
They hit on a quarterback last year, and I think they want to give him a weapon to play with. Really, when you look at their receiving core,
I mean, Chris Olave has some injury concerns. So you get a new wide receiver in Jordan Tyson.
He's got the most juice. You're not necessarily going to run the fastest 40, but he's just got so much twitch. You see it. You can see it.
That's a good fit. I think if I was the Saints, I would have gone with either Jordan Tyson or Ruben Bain at 8. Those are the two options at 8 I would have gone with.
6 times, and then again, once it goes up, he's snatching or when they're down in the red zone. The conversation has been not about his ability, it's been about his durability. He's just had injuries each for years. So if the Saints can keep him out there, it's healthy. Man, that's going to be a fun one-two punch thing a lot.
A lot of those were football injuries, and you feel like he's healed up from that and not nagging things that these people are hoping. That's kind of the
I like that pick for the Saints.
hoping he can absolutely go get it, and he's so dynamic. Plus, he knows how to be the focal point of the offense. CD at Arizona State, everyone knew the ball was going to Jordan Tyson. He still created space. He still made catches, made first downs, and you can see the emotion just pouring over him as he's making this walk.
It takes a knee in the walk. As he just overcomes him.
You know, so it's right when he saw the Saints open up.
That's cool.
That's when it really hit him, I think, at that point. It's the other part too, Joe, to your point about him understanding being the focal point of the offense. Doesn't have to be. Chris Olave will be right away. He would find his way to
The Saints has got, wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. Obviously, Chris Olave is the 1. Jordan Tyson comes in to play the 2.
Well, in the green room, apparently he was passing the time watching his brother Jalen take on the Toronto Raptors in Game 3 of their first round playoff series. In the NBA playoffs, that's one way to pass the time. By the way, it's not the job the Browns would have done 9th overall, but he was one pick away from potentially joining his brother in the same city. But so imagine it hasn't been easy hearing his health being questioned and red flags and conversations about his availability. That's part of the emotions I'm sure that was overcoming him.
Yeah, that's a good pick by the Saints. (6'2", 203 pounds. Yeah, you give Tyler Shuck another weapon opposite Chris Olave.
So so thankful, so blessed, and Lord is doing work on me. He's not done. Let me just keep this thing running. I'm gonna give him my. That's what I can do.
What can you say that there's a thing you may deal with adversity, injuries in this game, some of the things that you've handled about perseverance?
The Lord said it's gonna be hard. You have to persevere. Life is not easy. Keep going, boy. You got it. You strong. I promise you, you stay strong. Just keep going. You got it.
Congratulations.
All right, 3 minutes and change on the clock for the Miami Dolphins with the 11th overall pick. The Giants' 10th overall pick has been in for quite some time. The Brewers, that were here in Pittsburgh, are feeling Cleveland Browns. The Browns helmet logo popped up on the stage. The Browns were picking 6th overall. Coming into tonight, there's Todd Monken, the new head coach, with Andrew Berry, the owner, Jimmy Haslam as well. And they're celebrating the pick that's about to be announced. It was 6th overall, down to 9. They picked up a 3rd and a 5th to make this announcement. Do you think it's the first time left?
I think they made the right move by trading them, getting some extra picks, knowing they didn't have the.
Is this going to be Francis?
So it seems like last time a Tampa went this late in the first round was 2019 when there were no taken in the first 25th.
I mean, the Browns need offensive line help.
That route right here.
So I wouldn't be shocked if this is the tackle out of Miami.
For the 11th pick, the Giants' 10th overall pick is in the shoot. Here's the Browns for selection, too.
We're getting young in the 2026 in the Belgium. The Cleveland Browns, so Spencer Fano.
Oh! They go Spencer Fano instead.
Cool. Yeah, a draft to the tackle line, they put him a left. He started out as a left tackle in Utah before kicking over to the right side. But when you look at his feet now, athleticism.
Okay.
Like it's looking at the time it's up the evening. That was a further concern with him, but then his arms magically grew. Got to 33 inches, the same as Rashawn Slater, his highest paid tackle in football. So there's no concern there anymore. He's got excellent.
Okay.
He also has some nastiness to be able to drive and finish.
I had Spencer Fano falling to Pittsburgh at 21 in my latest mock draft.
put on the show that is built out. So this is a very athletic guy. And this is
And he's a good tackle. And the Browns got an extra third and fifth round pick from the Chiefs when they traded down.
Years to catch up. We're about to get the Giants a second pick of the first 10 picks. They chose Harley Orsi, who dropped after the Jets. Chose David Bailey. The Cardinals took Jeremiah Love, and the Titans took Cardinal Tate. Ruben Bain is sitting up there. What do you think the Giants are going to pair us with Harley Orsi? They go offense?
I would go offense, but Jordan Tyson's off the board.
Because that seems we're thinking here and go back to defense. Let's check it out.
They might go Bain.
In the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Francis Malinova.
Oh, they go Francis.
So this is to protect Jackson Dart.
Okay. Okay.
Picks of defense, Arbel Reese and Francis Malinova.
Get a new tackle to protect Jackson Dart.
Was going in the first 8 picks. We see 2 going 1.
Nobody's going to play tackle. But it's sitting right there. You got a right tackle. Just pick up Thomas at left tackle.
Yeah.
Sit at guard to begin his career. Yeah, and they want to run the ball there. That's on Harbaugh. This is a people mover. You could put him in there at that right guard spot, and then at tackle, he can kick out there and do that.
He's going to have to play guard.
From point A to point B. And that's what they did in Miami. They ran the rock and
And his younger brother is with the New York Jets. So both brothers are with a New York football team.
His brother Kiki's a New York Jet. He's just right there in the same area. They may be able to share a place. They get to work just going in opposite directions.
By the way, the reason why it appears Miami used every second of their 8 minutes is because they were talking turkey with the Dallas Cowboys, who, as the pick of Francis Malinova was being announced, traded 2 5s, 177 and 180 overall when you left one spot. And so that is what's happening. So Miami's still on the top now. And the Cowboys.
Okay.
Let's get Malinova a little bit of room right now. What do you think he brings to the table? He's up there. He just see the second. He's looking at it.
I mean, he's a big guy.
Baller. Here he is in the run game. Watch it get underneath. That's a big guy. He's able to get underneath the defender, run those legs, and slides him on the football. The ability to reach and steal. Okay, so the athleticism. What the ability to get that accomplished there. And the upper torque he has, when he gets that inside hand on it, he just throws that first guy to the ground and gives it.
He's a big guy. I mean, he's gonna either have to play.
He is aggressive in every.
He's a tackle, but he might have to play guard with the Giants.
And he's getting a look at working that bad boy. But the thing I think about DK that he was talking about, I see him going inside the guard to start off. And we talked about Vega, Omni being the guard who just breaks people's will. That will be Malinova moving inside for the Giants the exact same way.
That's thing you sound thanks to the stage in Colorado for the latest Giant.
Steve, what do you want to tell Jackson Dart about how you'll help protect him on this Giants O-line?
I'll die by this shit, man. And I'm ready to die for you, man. I know a lot of things has happened, bro, but I'm ready to die for you, man.
You have an ode to American Samoa on your jacket and your family, and even growing up there to create your own football gear. There's a lot of kids that you're a role model for. They're watching tonight. What's your message to them?
Hey, man. Born and raised in American Samoa, man. Never thought I could be here, man. If I could do it, you can do it. Simple as that.
Congratulations.
So there you go. Cowboys.
And then now the Cowboys are on the clock, and their pick is already in. They traded 2 fifth-round picks to Miami to go up by 1 spot.
We'll find out who it is. Either Nick or for a life like no other.
Totally forgot Caleb Downs is still on the board. The best safety is going to go to into the Dallas Cowboys? The Cowboys aren't supposed to make good draft picks. They can't take the safety. I can see why they trade with Miami now, because Miami needs a safety. They could go for Caleb Downs at 11. They might. They might go Caleb Downs at 11. So the top 10 picks, the Las Vegas Raiders went Fernando Mendoza. The New York Jets went David Bailey at 2. The Arizona Cardinals got Jeremiah Love. The Tennessee Titans shocked a lot of people and picked the first wide receiver off the board in Cornell Tate, giving Cam Ward a new weapon. The Giants at 5 got Alvaro Reese. The Chiefs traded up with the Cleveland Browns to get Mansour Delane, having to give up a 3rd and a 5th round pick. My Washington Commanders had Sonny Styles falling to them at 7. Jordan Tyson landing with the Saints at 8. Spencer Fano got drafted by the Cleveland Browns at 9. And Francis just went to the Giants at 10. The Cowboys pick is in. Miami's on the clock at 12. Does Dallas go Caleb Downs?
Dolphins. We just took all 8 minutes of their spot. So the Rams just got put on the clock, 13th overall. Will he remove the Dolphins' first draft selection of their new John Eric Sullivan administration? Was the commissioner with the
This might be Caleb Downs, but they jumped the Dolphins, who needs a safety.
With the 11th man in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Caleb.
Yep, it is Caleb Downs.
So there we go. Caleb Downs is a Dallas Cowboy, one of the most sensitive players on our state. And that's saying something because 3 other Buckeyes went before him in the first 10 picks of this draft. The Cowboys got themselves a big top win.
Yeah, they got themselves a new defensive coordinator earlier season. Christian Faulkner came over and told them right.
I think Dallas got themselves a very good safety. There's a reason why they jumped Miami and gave up 2 5th round picks.
Defense, 32nd, third. Points per game, 32nd, passing yards per game, 30th, and turnovers. Those numbers are all going to get better as this guy gets to Dallas.
Offensive coordinators love getting their new quarterback. Defensive coordinators, Joel Platt, love getting their new quarterback. And they cap on Caleb Downs, will patrol the secondary, organize the secondary, and he can wear the green dot and do the entire defense. He'll be up there.
He's the all package. He's a safety that can play down in the box if you need him to.
Cowboys have these guys in the secondary, the Darren Woodsons, right? The Roy Williams. The last time they took a safety in the first round, 2002, and it was Roy Williams. They need to get back to that type of football with Caleb Downs.
They rebuild the defense for Ohio State when they own Caleb Downs. That's the type of talent they had. All those good players, and I said they built the entire structure of that scheme around Caleb Downs. He's so versatile. He's so smart. They did that 2 years ago on their route to a national championship. They revamped that defense after a loss to Oregon, put him in the center of the field and allow those instincts to take over. He can control the middle of the field as well as anybody in college football. There he is playing free safety.
Yeah, the best safety in the class by far.
Is moving, creating turnovers for his teammates. He's terrific in run support. I say he triggers faster than anybody on the defense because of his preparation.
I mean, I'm really excited that Washington got Sony Styles at 7. If Sony Styles was off the board, I would have liked Washington to go with Caleb Downs. But Sony Styles was on the board, so I'm happy. 4 Ohio State Buckeyes went in the top 11. That's impressive.
The Giants left them on the hole for the Cowboys to take, which adds some intrigue to that rivalry. Walk from the prime time presented by Nationwide Care.
Celebrating this, you're taking it all in. And just moments ago, you were on the phone with Jerry Jones. What did he tell you about the Cowboys' plans to use you?
First of all, I just want to say thank God. Without that, none of us would be saviors. But it was a great conversation. I honestly couldn't hear much. I was too excited to listen. So I'm just excited to do what I can do and be committed to the team.
We'll ask Jerry later what he said. Now, your brother Josh is a wide receiver for the Colts. Your dad Gary are running back in the NFL. How special is it for your family that you now get to carry on this legacy?
That's an awesome feeling, honestly. God's blessed us with a lot of favors to be in this situation, and I'm so thankful to be here. And my family, I can't even say enough words about it. There's a lot of love there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
And the Cowboys are slated to visit the Indianapolis Colts this year, so we could see downs on downs of any of 4 downs. You know? So there's the Dallas Cowboys draft room in Frisco. Very excited about all that. And now, the Miami Dolphins' new regime, new administration, to announce their
Dolphins pick is in at 12.
taken from the Packers organization, Jeff Hafford, their new head coach, also from the Packers. And this is the first of 2 picks for the Dolphins in the first.
Who does the Dolphins take at 12? Malachi Lemon is still on the board.
Move down one spot.
They need a wide receiver. You have no weapons from Malik.
In the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Caden Proctor, tackling, Alabama.
They go Caden Proctor at 12.
This news from John Eric Sullivan coming in here and making a statement by taking the big man out of Alabama. He is massive. He was a little out of shape at the beginning of the season. He got himself into shape as the season went on. Hopefully played well down the stretch. He's taken that. He had a very good process.
I mean, you got to protect your new quarterback. I probably would have gone wide receiver, but they could also get one at 30, like a Casey Concepcion or something. Yeah, I mean, I probably would have gone Malachi Lemon at 12 if I was Miami, but they do have the 30th pick, so they could go at Casey Concepcion, or if Boston makes it to 30, maybe they can go him at 30. But the Miami Dolphins need a wide receiver in this draft. They need to come away with a wide receiver in tonight's draft. If they don't get one tonight with one of their 2 picks, then they have to get one on day 2, because you cannot go into the season with receivers like Malik Washington, Tutu Atwell, and Terrence Marshall Jr. as your top receivers for your new quarterback that you paid big money for. You have to get a new number 1 receiver. I probably would have gone with Malachi Lemon here. That's just me. But now that the Rams are picking at 13 and Malachi Lemon is still on the board, the Rams might go Lemon. I mean, they can't. I mean, Spencer Fano is off the board. Francis is off the board. Now Caden Proctor is off the board. So the top 3 offensive linemen are already off the board in the top 12. So if you're the Rams at 13 and Malachi Lemon is still on the board, you could go Malachi Lemon. You could. I mean, you can't really. I mean, Mansour Delane is off the board. You could go the second best corner in the class, but they got Trip McDuffie in a trade, and then they got one of the other former Chief corners. So I think in this situation at 13, Malachi Lemon might be the pick. I think if the Rams pass on Malachi Lemon and the Ravens are now on the clock, the Ravens could go with Lemon, or this could be where Kenan Sadiq goes. But they also have Ruben Bain is still on the board. Rams need edge. The Ravens need edge. Tampa needs edge. The Jets need an edge, but they drafted David Bailey, so that's already accomplished. These next few picks, the Rams need an edge rusher. The Ravens need an edge rusher. Tampa needs an edge rusher. The Jets already got their edge rusher in David Bailey at 2. The Lions need an edge rusher. So these next few picks, 13 through 17, David Bailey, not David Bailey, these next few picks, 13 through 17, Ruben Bain is coming off the board. I think Ruben Bain might be coming off the board one of these, few picks. Either the Rams, the Ravens, Tampa, maybe not the Jets because they got David Bailey, the Lions at 17, or the Vikings at 18. I think the Vikings go the safety out of Oregon instead. I don't know about that Dolphins pick with Caden Proctor at 12. I mean, he's a big offensive lineman, offensive tackle. He's a good tackle. He's a good offensive lineman. It's just I think I probably would have gone Malachi Lemon here. But you do have pick 30 if you're Miami. So they could go with like a KC Concepcion if he makes it to pick 30.
You hear his name being called.
But Ruben Bain, I think
Doesn't picks in. The Rams pick has been in for.
I think Ruben Bain is going to hear his name called here the next 4 or 5 picks.
They have picked their picks. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's just my opinion. I think Ruben Bain might hear his name called in the next 4 or 5 picks.
This is where the window opens for Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson. It's early. Yes, it's early. Listen to this. The Simpson family is trying to make the decision about whether or not he should enter the draft or stay in school. They consulted, among other people, Rams GM Rick Snead, who told the family Simpson is for sure a first rounder. Now actually has the opportunity to make it happen.
I don't think the Rams go Ty Simpson at 13.
The Atlanta Falcons traded this pick to the Rams in last year's draft to select James Pierce Jr., for whom there was a bit of news earlier today. He entered a 6-month pre-trial intervention program that could result in all charges of 3 felonies and a misdemeanor. He was charged and arrested in Florida in February after an incident involving his ex-girlfriend. If all his conditions are met and no jail time to come his way, but this is somebody that the Falcons traded a first-round pick last year to the Rams to choose, and they might not have him at all. But that's for another day. The Rams, 13th overall here, that had 29. That's what a lot of people thought they would take Ty Simpson, but this could be the spot.
Yeah, once that trade happened and they didn't have 29, I thought this might be off the table. But hearing Ian talk about it, if you look at it from 2 perspectives, from Ty Simpson's perspective, this is where absolutely you would love to go. You get a chance to go learn under the reigning MVP and Matthew Stafford, play for the elite defensive mind of Sean McVay. They can develop you properly, and you'll be put on the field when you're ready to be put on the field. And a great team and a great organization. The challenge I have with it is from the Rams situation. This is a team that was a player or 2 away from the Super Bowl last year. That does have the reigning MVP on their roster at that position right now. And then, by the way, the Super Bowl this next year is in their own building. So I thought this would be an opportunity to try and get that extra piece to help nudge them over the team in their division that hoisted the trophy last year. Or do they think long-term vision? And that makes the sense. I gotta see.
I don't think they go Ty Simpson at 13. I think it's Mekhi Lemon or Ruben Bain. Those are my 2 options. Mekhi Lemon at 13 or Ruben Bain.
This is going to be one of the quarterback taking 13th overall. If it does come down that way, that's no pressure to fly. Amazing. With the 13th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Ty Simpson.
They went Ty Simpson?
So this is the first big shocker of the night. The Rams are taking Ty Simpson, 13th overall.
Wow.
Have a very long stay there this evening.
I thought he wasn't going to be a first-round pick. Maybe a team would trade back into the late-round spots, like, 30, 31, 32. I didn't think he was going to be a top 15 pick.
The Rams take him. Good morning. We'll take your thoughts first up. I'll tell you what, guys. I think this is the perfect fit for Ty Simpson.
I mean, he gets to sit behind Matthew Stafford. So that's a great spot to be in.
We're going to grow with this defense. We're going to give you a chance to become the quarterback you think you can be. But whenever that time comes when Matthew Stafford decides to move on, being with Sean McVay, I think is a perfect fit. You see it on film. You see why he is a first-round draft pick on film. He makes throw after throw that is NFL-type throws in an NFL-type offense. So I think it's the great perfect fit for Ty Simpson and the Rams to be able to bring him along and to be their quarterback and waiting.
He had to wait till his 4th year to get on the field at Alabama, so he's been patient.
I am shocked they went with Ty Simpson at 13.
15 starts. So I'm going to give the freebie to Les Steed.
Wow.
Think about that. They believe in the ability, and they're going to go forward.
The heir apparent to Matthew Stafford?
Obviously, the best during that no actual game times. John McVay will have a plan on how they want to bring this.
Preseason and training camp is going to be interesting. I want to see what the Rams do at OTAs and training camp. I think Ty Simpson is going to get a lot of playing time. I think Ty Simpson is going to get a lot of playing time in the preseason because Matthew Stafford is in his late 30s. He's not really going to play preseason. Ty Simpson is going to get a lot of playing time in the preseason games. He might get a lot of playing time in training camp. He's definitely going to get all 3 preseason games. Probably, I could see like half the game in each preseason. Each preseason, week 1 through 3, I could see him get like 2 or 3 quarters of gameplay.
Remember, as you think about tonight, now that you're a first-round NFL,
I am shocked. Ty Simpson?
Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. The fact that I'm here on our first days of the draft, I wouldn't be able to him, but my dad, he helped me along the way and everything possible from sitting meetings to quarterback drills. Shout out UT Martin and everything they've done for me as well.
now you're going to play in an offense with the Rams. It's similar to the offense that you ran at Alabama. What are you most excited about in learning from Sean McVay and quarterback Matthew Stafford?
Yeah, two of the greatest minds in offense, especially with Coach McVay and the quarterback offensive standpoint. He is one of the greatest of all time. So I'm looking forward to it.
Congratulations.
Wow, okay.
All right, guys. Well, we know Les Snead's like Ty Simpson. He turned Sean McVay onto Ty Simpson at one time. And Sean started watching this film and fell in love with Ty Simpson, those throws that DK was showing you. And he decided that he needed to go have a conversation with Matt Stafford. That conversation happened today. And Matt Stafford was told that Ty Simpson will be here and back in play for as long as he wants. So Ty's just there for whenever Matt wants to step away. This is not anything imminent, but that conversation has taken place. It happened today, so Matt was aware that this pick was going to happen tonight. Thank you, Joe Clapp. So the move was big friends expected, not for the championship.
Okay. Ravens pick is in. Ruben Bain is still available. Malachi Lemon is still available. Kenyon Sadiq is still available at 14 for the Ravens to pick.
The Jesse Minter administration taking a little commission.
I don't know this is as much for the commissioner as it is for one team. In the 2026 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select O-line Benga.
Or the offensive guard. They need to protect Lamar Jackson. That's the pick to make. Yep. I had him going to the Ravens in my latest mock draft as well.
Protection for Lamar, and this guy is going to have different record running a play there. Tyler Linderbaum's going. He's now raised.
His pro comp is Brandon Sheriff. That's a good comp.
You want to let stick along to the ground, even if you along this thing, you do not stop. And once it gets hands on it, it's not going to end well. Again, drive and finish.
Yeah. If you're a Ravens fan, that's a good pick. You got to protect Lamar Jackson, and he's the best guard in this draft. 6'4", 320.
Is exactly what the Ravens like. The folks pick when we come back. The Jets are on the clock, and the Lions invited.
Tampa's pick is in. Jets are on the clock with their second pick. And then the Lions at 17, Vikings at 18, and then the Panthers at 19. I'm still shocked that the Rams went Ty Simpson. When I saw that tweet that Les Snead, when I saw that tweet from Adam Schefter, I think it was Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport, that said that Les Snead said that Ty Simpson is a first-round pick. The bells were kind of ringing at that point. If the Rams GM says that he is a first-round pick, then they would end up drafting him at some point in the first round. Or another team, but they were like, we're not letting them pass 13. We're taking them now. I mean, they could have gotten someone, you know, to play now, like a defensive player or an extra weapon for Matthew Stafford. But they went with the future and life, you know, playing after Matthew Stafford decides to retire. And then he's just going to hand the keys off to Ty Simpson. I mean, he definitely has like 1 or 2 years to sit behind Matthew Stafford. I think Stafford plays for at least another 2 years. Unless this coming season the Rams make it to the Super Bowl and win it, then I could probably see Matthew Stafford, retiring and walking into the sunset, as a Super Bowl champion. I mean, he already has one ring, but to retire on top and have your second ring, I could see that happening. We're about halfway done with the draft. And it's only 9:40. The draft's going by pretty quickly.
Now we're in the commercial break. The Jets made their second pick of the first round. We'll next be here on the Bucks. First pick. We're still just taking in the fact that Ty Simpson was drafted by the Los Angeles Rams, 13th overall. The last time you might be wondering that a team with the winning MVP at quarterback, we watched the Buccaneers celebrate their pick. The last team who had a reigning MVP quarterback to then take a quarterback in the first round of the next draft was the Packers. In 1966, Buck Starr won the MVP, and then the Packers took quarterback Don Horn in the first round, 25th overall.
Then the Indiana State style.
He sat 2 years and made 6 starts.
Like, that's it. I didn't even get to the camp. It's on a set.
This could be a spot where Kenan Sadiq goes. I mean, Ruben Bain is still on the board.
Just for me, that information, not seeing what just happened in a very long time.
They could go offensive line.
So, instead of choice here, to be sort of 5 and change, lines on the top, 17 line. The find the Jets, they're choosing Mets. The house this security commission is coming. Let's see if they'll step playing. Maybe they're waiting for the commission to spend $5 in the tip jar for them.
With the 15th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Ruben Bain.
It is Ruben Bain. I said it. Didn't I say it? I said Ruben Bain's going to hear his name called between the Rams and the Lions. I was right.
If you look at their options, I don't think they imagined in a million years that Ruben Bain would be staring at him, and they get a much-needed edge rusher to add to that defense and get them back on track. When you look at the video of him, this is a bully. That's the way he plays. We talk about some of these offensive linemen that vein. You see the same thing with him. He is relentless, and it's not just with the physicality, it's also with the effort.
He gets to stay in Florida.
Tackle. He's going to try and walk you right back to the quarterback. And then
I knew Ruben Bain was going to be gone between the Rams pick at 13 and the Lions pick at 17. Those 4 or 5 picks, I said he was going to be gone in the next 4 or 5 picks. That's pretty close. I got the range right. 13 through 17?
But he's a leverage player. That's relies. I don't see him as a 15-7 performer on the edge. He's going to get some even his hands. He's going to dominate against the run
and move inside in such packages. I love how you went Mr. T there when you pitied everyone like that. I was great. Or those of us of a certain age. But you mentioned,
And he gets to stay in state. He gets to stay in Florida.
2019 with top points defensive team best. He has 31.5-inch arms. Means 30 and 7/8-inch arms. If you're going to a coach who understands that type of pressure, Tom Bowles is that guy. I think they make it. Listen, Ruben's not happy about quote unquote sliding, but Joe, I think he could have slid to a better place.
Well, here's the deal. I get it, right? And
That's a good pick from Tampa.
And just turn on the tape.
That's a good pick for Tampa.
His offenses all year long, and he drew the attention of almost every single offensive line, which is what allowed Mesidor to have all that production on the other side. He is outstanding against the run, and he's outstanding. Now, to your point, will he be a 15-sack guy? Maybe, maybe not. But I guarantee you, he will give you production behind the line of scrimmage, and he will help you on every single down. And I think this is the type of guy that can go in particular with Tom Bowles, and really excel.
And then Tom Bowles is drawing up another catch rush right now for Ruben Bain. I still think he can move inside of those set packages and rush over the next guards and help himself.
He's only seen long enough to help the commissioner. It's pretty much short. That's just wrapping him up. Well, let's take it over.
Ruben, you've said you can play anywhere else in the world. How will your versatility elevate this Bucs defense?
Well, my mentality is what I can do. It's how I think about myself. I know I'm the best in the country. I'm sure.
Every step of the way, you've proven doubters wrong. What gives you the confidence that you can continue to do that at the NFL level?
My mentality, I'm telling you, I can do anything I put my mind to. Because of my mindset. And I know when I get at this next level, it's on the pop.
We believe you. Thanks.
Thank you.
On top, and he means business. You can see he's not terribly happy when he ready to long. But still, 15th overall to go to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Always a great spot for him. The Jets are celebrating, and they have to be ecstatic if they were going to follow the game plan of taking their defensive player of choice.
And then Malachi Lemon?
Receiver might still be available. It's everybody not named Tate or Tyson.
Yeah, Lemon and Cooper. Lemon and Cooper are the two names that jump out to me as guys that could get on the field and have an immediate impact. This feels like they're trying to build this thing up for their quarterback. I think that quarterback's coming in next year's draft with one of those 3 first-round picks, but they're trying to lay the foundation with what they accomplished in this year's draft. And also say, if you just saw at pass catchers, Kenyon Sadiq starts entering the conversation at this point in the draft. He's a good still not in from Oregon, terrific at the line of scrimmages of the after as well. So they're going to.
Who goes here? If it's a wide receiver, is it going to be Malachi Lemon? Or is it going to be Omar Cooper? I don't think the Jets go tight end here.
Hey, but here comes the commissioner with the second first.
I think it could be a wide receiver, Lemon or Cooper.
In the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Kenyon Sadiq.
They do Kenyon Sadiq at 16? Wow. Okay.
He ran at the combine, DJ. Everybody is right one of the fastest tight ends that we've seen.
Well, Kenyon Sadiq is not going to end up on the Carolina Panthers after all.
You don't get the nickname Sneak the Freak for being slow. He is a very self-explosive athlete. I thought my comparison, Jets fans, I don't know if they're going to like it or not, but he reminded me of it's a killer when I watched him. He was real physical and tough and can absolutely run. Here he is after the catch. You better bring your legs when you go to tackle him, or you're not going to get him on the ground. Here he is again, showing the ability, the athleticism.
I mean, he's the best tight end in this class. And he's going to, I guess as of right now for this season, he's going to be catching passes from Geno Smith.
Even though he's split five, he walks like a bigger guy. He does run his speed, and I don't think the Jets can get up to Dustin Keller would because of what happened there. I thought about Eric Ebron as well with that body type.
So the Jets fans are happy. This is a message to the quarterback in Oregon saying, "Hey, you sure you're going to play for us? You know, maybe next year. Please don't get out of here."
Does Dante Moore get drafted next year to the Jets? Gets reunited with Kenyon Sadiq?
Lions, Vikings, Panthers, Cowboys second pick at the first round. All still Tom on a first they first use defense for to be expecting.
So first half of the draft is done. The Las Vegas Raiders went Fernando Mendoza at 1. David Bailey went to the Jets at number 2. The Arizona Cardinals went with Jeremiah Love at 3. The Tennessee Titans decided to get a wide receiver for Cam Ward. Cornell Tate is heading to Tennessee. Number 5, the Giants got Arvell Reese. The Chiefs traded up from 9 to 6 with the Browns and got Mansour Delane. All they needed to give up was a 3rd and a 5th round pick, which means my Washington Commanders had Sony Styles falling to them at 7, and I'm ecstatic with that pick. That's the guy I wanted Washington to pick, and we ended up picking him. That was the correct move. The Saints drafted Jordan Tyson at number 8. Spencer Fano went to the Browns at 9 and was the first offensive tackle off the board. The Giants at 10 went with the tackle out of Miami. At 11, the Dallas Cowboys traded up from 12 to 11 with Miami, costing them 2 5th-round picks to get the best safety in the class in Caleb Downs. The Dolphins at 12 went Caden Proctor at 12, the offensive tackle. The Los Angeles Rams, with a shocker, they drafted Ty Simpson, quarterback out of Alabama, to be Matthew Stafford's successor once Matthew Stafford decides to retire. At 14, the Ravens get the best offensive guard in the class. Tampa at 15 gets Ruben Bain. I said between picks 13 through 17 that Ruben Bain would be off the board, and I was 100% right. At pick 16, the Jets went Kenyon Sadiq, the best tight end in the class. The Lions pick is now in. The Vikings are on the clock. I don't really know what the Lions could do here. They could go safety. They have their pick of safeties, and then the Vikings need a safety, and the Panthers need a safety. So these next few picks, a safety might get drafted.
High lemon still got into the screens on the past time. I wondered if he just tried Lions in his portal right there. First guess L. Then if you play Lions at this,
Should Malachi Lemon fall to the Panthers at 19?
Yeah, I mean, that is a great count for that weapon.
Would they do it? I think he's his implications there.
Yeah,
Right. They don't need him.
I mean, look, it's the bench. Big people.
Everybody's out there looking on the top, but with Declan being there.
It means you think you can ask him that. Well, and he's the one.
Yeah, Caden Proctor was the guy that I thought the Lions would go at 17, but with Caden Proctor off the board to the Dolphins, who are the Lions going to pick at 17? Will they go wide receiver? Or some sort of defensive lineman? Or Freeling. They could go offensive tackle Freeling.
Wish makers taking action to support Make-A-Wish during World Wish Month. Tonight, you will have the opportunity to help grant an unforgettable wish. I'm joined here by Easton, a 14-year-old Lions fan whose wish is to announce the first round draft pick for his favorite team. I'd like to ask all of you to join me in cheering on Easton as he makes his wish come true. Take it away, Easton.
With the 17th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Blake Miller, tackle.
It is a different tackle. They go Blake Miller out of Clemson. So the Lions still go tackle. It's not Caden Proctor who's still off the board and going to Miami. But Blake Miller is heading to the Detroit Lions. He's a tall dude. How tall is he? 6'6", 317 pounds. Wow.
The Lions look for in players of the comparison there to replace it. It's Taylor Decker, just on the opposite side.
That's a good pro comp. And he's going to the same team. He's replacing Tyler Decker, and that's his pro comp.
Concerns there. He's got instincts. He sees things clearly on the edge. You want to try and run games.
Vikings pick is in. I could see the Vikings going that's Oregon safety. And the Panthers are on the clock.
A big spot for his face, I'm sure he is in Detroit Lions direction. And I think that's why they back to last year, Rich. And he just made history for his business. He was the first tapper chosen out of Texas in the first one.
How about that? All right, this is the Dylan Phoenix spot.
This is definitely Dylan Thiemann or Thiemann, whatever, however you pronounce his last name.
Just want to do something here. Well, this is for the starting mock draft pick of all the mocks. And he's supposed to be Harrison Smith's clone replacement. Now, let's see the mock.
This has to be that safety. This has to be Dylan.
With the 18th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Caleb Banks.
Wow. They don't go the safety. They go defensive line Caleb Banks. The Panthers pick is in, and the best safety is still, the best safety remaining, the safety out of Oregon, Dylan, is still on the board. And Malachi Lemon is still on the board.
27 with 30 jabs. I mean, this is a swing for the fences. If you hit on this one, you can end up with an all-world because he's got all that ability. It's just there's not a lot of games to go up for him.
I had Caleb Banks going later in the first round. I think I had him going to Chicago at like 25. Instead, he's going to Minnesota at 18.
He's going to reset to one scrimmage.
I got him in the right division.
You see, particularly in this game, this was the one against LSU where you can see him get on edges and work up the field. Wanted to see this a more consistent version of this power to collapse the pocket because it's all on his body. It's only there. It's just a little bit of it's just a boomer bust guy. You're going to hit it big or it's not going to work out. But they swung for the fences here in Minnesota. Well, what concerned me is that he's 330 pounds and he's been dealing with foot issues, and sometimes those don't go away. But you talk about the athleticism. In high school, he was a double guy in basketball, so he can move.
Yeah, and one other thing, remember, the GM is no longer there. Coaches had a heavy hand in this one. They might have been wanted to go defense, and they had a coach that loved him at the Senior Bowl.
So check on a warm place and see if it's frozen over.
The Cowboys just made a trade with the Eagles for the Eagles to move up to 20th. And they're on the clock right now.
The Eagles just traded up with the Cowboys, an in-division trade. You don't trade with Howie Roseman. I don't know what Dallas is thinking. But the Panthers pick is in. If I have to guess, we could go. I mean, the safety Dylan Thymon is still on the board. He's an option. Kenan Sadiq is off the board. Malachi Lemon is still on the board. I could see Peter Woods going to Carolina at 19. I don't know if I would go offensive line at this point. I mean, the best offensive linemen are already off the board. I mean, you got Spencer Fano off the board, Francis off the board, Caden Proctor, Blake Miller. I mean, there's a couple other offensive linemen still on the board, but I would I would like to see a defensive member. I would like to see a defensive player drafted by the Panthers. Unless it's Malachi Lemon, I would like to see defense. Presumably, I mean, I know we got, some, we got Devin Lloyd and we got uh, an edge in free agency. But I still think we can get some sort of other playmaker on the defensive line. Or Dylan Thymon from Oregon, the safety. If it's an offensive player, I'm saying if it is an offensive player and it's a wide receiver, the only wide receiver that I would be okay with drafting is either Malachi Lemon or KC Concepcion. Those are the only two receivers I would like to have at Carolina. If it's a different wide receiver, like an Omar Cooper, maybe. But I just think if we're drafting a wide receiver again, I would like to see either Malachi Lemon or KC Concepcion. KC Concepcion is one of my favorite receivers coming out of this draft. So I would like to see him possibly going to Carolina. There's a chance. There's definitely a chance that he goes.
Verizon Small Business Days, April 27th through May 10th. All right, so the Panthers are on the block. The Eagles just traded up with the Cowboys. The fascinating backstory behind that. And I can't wait to tell you. And then the first Pittsburgh Steelers home draft choice since 19.
Sure, I would like to see a defensive player. If it's not a defensive player, then Malachi Lemon or KC Concepcion.
The Carolina Panthers select Monroe Freeman.
We go tackle? Okay. Okay. That was the last good tackle remaining on the board.
What did I guess? Well, Icky Quader in that injury was what I make of it. They wanted to get the tackle, the good place there that they can roll with, and someone who is huge.
I'm okay with that.
But he just kept it good against Gilligan from it. Does that scroll back? You see it when he redirects. He's got some of the best ball balance and athleticism of this offensive line class. You see the run game movement here.
I'm 100% okay with that pick. I mean, we still have Ike Ekwonu. We brought in Rashad Walker as like a backup piece for a 1-year contract. Ike Ekwonu is injured.
This year, you see what type of backs you have to work with.
But we can also...
Was the moment that Freeling found out he was a Panther. Now, the last time the Cowboys and the Eagles made a draft trade, the Eagles traded up 2 spots from 12 to 10 in the 2021 draft to take Devontae Smith. The Cowboys moved down a few spots. They took Parker Parsons. I love to know that they traded Michael Parsons away to Green Bay. this draft choice is they just traded Chief Philadelphia. Was the one that Dr. Michael Parsons from Green Bay. Let's see.
Green Bay. No, this is the Packers, not Packers. This is the Eagles pick.
2026 NFL Draft. With the Philadelphia Eagles select Makai.
There goes Mekhi Lemon. What does this mean for AJ Brown?
The Eagles took a wide receiver in the first round. It's when they made that trade with Dallas to go get Devontae Smith. So, talk about some wild backstories to a trade. Kyle Lemon could care less. He's going out of the green room and he's going to wear Kelly green in Philadelphia.
It also begs the question if that's not the end for AJ Brown with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Look at you.
But Kyle Lemon, now they've made some other additions here to that receiver room.
Well,
I think AJ Brown's definitely out of Philly. You don't go out and draft Malachi Lemon
Tight ends only under contract for 1 more year. He was slot receiver.
if you're keeping AJ Brown.
Christy, the Eagles are operating under the assumption that A.J. Brown will not be on their team next season. Of course, we know they've had talks with the New England Patriots on a potential trade. My understanding of these talks are expected to pick up right before June 1st, after June 1st, obviously. For the Eagles, it's much better cap-wise, cuts the dead cap hit in half from 40 to 20. But A.J. Brown likely not to play in Philly next season.
I mean, they have made all those moves. That's 3 new wide receivers that they've added. You mentioned Dontavian Wicks. They grab him from Green Bay to acquire,
That's a good pick for Philadelphia.
Mentioned moments ago, a comp is Amon-Ra St. Brown, which, by the way, pretty darn good comp.
I got another comp that you're going to appreciate as well. You want to talk about somebody that has a lot of volume and somebody that can be a big time productive player out of the slot. We'll get to that here in a second. But I think it's
Where are the safeties going to be going, though? Maybe Chicago, the Niners, Buffalo.
he should have been the first receiver picked. He is a competitive dude, and he looks like he's ready to go play football right now. Ready to trade him this for some sugar pants.
And I'll bet Sirianni can stir that up and use it. He's having the direction of all the opponents for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Remember we wore shoulder pads in our suits in the 80s?
Pretty neat moment here for the sideline.
Now, here's my comparison. How about this one? When you look at somebody being most productive in the slot, he reminded me a lot of one of the best slot receivers that we saw with the New England Patriots. Look at that in a second. Let's look at this Iowa game for a minute. Look at this video. This is all in one game. This is all you needed to watch to get the Mekhi Lemon experience. It's a raining wet day. Talk about no fear, working in the middle of the field. Good one, climb the winter, absorb the punishment, and make the play. Another one down in the red zone. Big time play. After this game, Kirk Ferguson said this is one of the best receiving games he's ever seen. He's been in Iowa for 400 years. It's unofficially.
His facial awareness in the middle of the field is second to none.
So the comp guys, Julian Edelman. Pretty good. That's what he reminded me.
That's a strong one.
Okay, so Philadelphia has its moment before the western part of the state has its. The Steelers are about to make their announcement to the crazy crowd here, but for the moment, here's Laurel with Lemon.
Makai, from the first to this moment right here, being a first-round pick in the NFL draft, what has defined your journey?
I'm just so blessed right now. But I just praise the Lord for every moment, really. It's a dream come true. I can't even believe this right now.
When you look out at those Philly fans and you think about the fan base that's about to embrace you with open arms, what will they think most about you?
I ain't getting a throw. It's ready to work, for real. I ain't doing no playing.
Thank you, Makai. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All business. All right. You ready? Fans going nuts. They're sitting the stage. The Steelers are about to make their announcement.
Pittsburgh's on the clock, and their pick is already in.
He's a point. He's a terrible. He's maybe he stands the arrogant. That's why he's towards the sun to one of the Steelers. It's the first thing the Steelers.
This is Tommy Shaw from Sticks. Steelers, the pick is in. From Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Joe Green. And they're forming security 32 is part of Ray John. Draft in Pittsburgh since 1948. Big number. The Pittsburgh Steelers are committed to growing the game with the players and celebrating athletes at every level. Joining me on stage are 6 Jerome Bettis Leadership Award recipients, featuring both high school tackle players and flag football athletes. Jerome, listen. The Jerome Bettis.
I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going defensive line. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going defensive line, right?
Congratulations to each of you. We wish all of you the best as you continue your football journeys. The last time I introduced the Steelers first round pick, I was fortunate to introduce TJ Watt. On the 2026 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Max Ehangelo, tackle.
They got a tackle. I thought they're going defense. I thought they're going defensive line. They would decide to go offensive line. I guess if Aaron Rodgers is staying, give him, an offensive lineman.
We appreciate Satellite. Never go for Chris Jones. They drafted him to go kick some. The solar system definitely in effect tonight here.
Yeah, it is a Pittsburgh Steelers pick, though. Usually, it's, Pittsburgh likes to draft, defensive linemen and some seriously big, powerful offensive linemen. And they got themselves a new offensive lineman. Almost 6'6", 220 pounds.
Another rusher who may get drafted here. This is a guy that really elevated his game throughout this draft process. You knew he was good. That Senior Bowl was a big proving ground week. Yeah, he's a first-round pick because of what he did in Mobile.
Yeah, that's a good pick from Pittsburgh.
The best again is yet to foul again. Hitting Freeman or two upside guys. Floating footballs are coming.
Without a single temple token in the first 8 picks, it was the longest we haven't seen a draft go.
The Chargers pick is in.
There's never been 7 taken since to give us the most tackles taken in the first 21 picks since the 2013 draft. Lineman. 7. We didn't see one. The Chargers are celebrating. Maybe they've taken another one. This is it. The Daniels Cowboys will turn it down. So the Eagles could move up to take the high limit.
The Chargers at 22.
We're trying to get a Dallas to it. The next roster, because they traded away Nathan Parsons for the 20th pick and then moved down. So the Eagles could move up and take a wide receiver. That's this time they slot six was when the Eagles moved up to take a wide receiver and Steve Smith.
Who does the Chargers pick at 22?
To me, you looked at the offensive line.
Yeah, I'm going to say offensive line.
So I'm looking at edge rushers, and my highest rated edge rushers, the team Mesidor follows like Parker.
Well, yeah, I mean, what most of the good first round offensive tackles are off the board, and the best offensive guard is already off the board.
Just 2 minutes in to choosing the 23rd overall pick. What was caught up on this draft? You've been caught to the pick that's in the time in almost 2 hours.
With the 22nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Akeem Mesidor.
It is Akeem Mesidor. Okay.
Big stand player we've been down for the Hurricanes. But one of the questions about this, people don't really like the age. He's 25 years old. Think about this. He's going to join his teammate, Julie Tuicoloti, who's 23 years old. Julie's up for a contract extension on him. So he's very mature. But this guy plays. I once and I looked up Werner on my paper because this guy plays with an unbelievable passion and energy on the edge, inside as well. And the Chargers like to move their guys a little bit. Oh, it's gone. He got big money.
That's a good pickup by the Chargers.
So they want to get somebody that could be that eventual successor, but someone that can roll through like they do, and someone again. You see the bang and close at the top of this rush; it's outstanding. The interior, they'll use him in this capacity with the Chargers.
His first step is really quick.
This production came from inside. He's someone who's a lot of this NIL money on his back and drowning him. He's developed from a police recruit to a guy now drafting the first round. And he's very selfish. The coaching staff talked about how he would move down to the interior, to the edge, change positions, never complain, but produce.
Yeah, Harbaugh's gonna like him.
Panachor and Mesidor, and we're out the door. For a commercial break. Cowboys, Browns, Bears, first.
Going back up to the Panthers pick at 19, getting Monroe Freeling, tackle out of Georgia. 6'7", 315 pounds. We did get Rashad Walker in free agency, but Ike Ekwonu, what does this mean for Ike Ekwonu? We drafted Ike Ekwonu in the first round a few years ago. So, I mean, I know Ike Ekwonu's injured. I know Ike Ekwonu is injured, and he probably won't play this season. Is Monroe Freeling going to be starting at left tackle for the Panthers? Or is it going to be Rashad Walker? And knowing that we drafted a tackle in the first round. Ricky Aquanu was a first-round tackle when we drafted him. I'm assuming we're not going to pick up his fifth-year option. And he's going to be a free agent after this season. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a free agent after this season. I think Monroe Freeling is going to be our new left tackle for a few years. I'm not mad at the pick. I mean, Kenan Sadiq was already off the board. I would have gone someone on the defensive line. That's just my opinion. We've drafted so many offensive positions these last few years. I wanted someone on the defensive side of the ball. But it wasn't a wide receiver. So at that point, I'm actually okay with it. But like I said, if we did draft a wide receiver, I would have liked to see either Malachi Lemon or Casey Concepcion going to Carolina at 19. But it was Freeling, the offensive tackle out of Georgia. I'm okay with it. It's more of like a security blanket pick, I think. And this probably means that Ike Aquanu is probably no longer going to be a Panther after this season. I don't even think he's going to be playing this season. Ike Aquanu, I think he's going to be out for the rest of the season.
It's a 23rd overall pick. Dallas traded down for this one.
Cowboys pick.
Sources say George Pickens, their star receiver, decided to sign his franchise tag, locking in $27 million. The Cowboys do not intend to trade him this season.
Ian Rappaport, so Pickens playing on the franchise tag. The Cowboys moved up one spot and traded away 2 times to do it, to make sure they're paying now. They traded down moments ago. Got 2 fours from the Eagles, so they improved those picks to take this one.
With the 23rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Malachi Lawrence, defensive end, University of Central Florida.
Now they go edge rusher.
So 2 defenders. That's pretty much what everybody thought the Cowboys would come away with their 2 picks, Damon.
Yeah, these are the 2 guys I projected them to get, was Downs and Lawrence. And Lawrence is someone who just rose through the entire process. He is juicy. When you watch him, it is
6'4", 250. Dallas is actually drafting well this draft.
And then he can really finish. He trapped that in H-Bill, and here he is running to the backside again. You can feel his speed when you're watching him. The effort he plays, there's some secondary plays where the first play stands, and he's able to get there. And here he is, coming up the testing numbers, 40-inch.
Dallas is not supposed to draft well. What are they doing?
There was a lot of buzz and connected, and when you look at the homework on him, the new assistant defensive line coach for the Dallas Cowboys, Dimitri Grimm, was the defensive line coach at Central Florida. Coached this kid last year, so they knew the goods they had with him.
So the Cowboys, as expected, use their 2 firsts on defensive players. Caleb Downs, they move up 1 spot to take him. Malachi Lawrence, they move down 3 spots to take him. And that's with him. And those to the defensive line of Portland Williams, they acquired in the middle of last year, Kenny Clark at the
That defensive line for Dallas actually looks kind of scary.
From Green Bay, this spring, the Browns are getting ready to pick.
That defensive line for Dallas looks pretty scary. We're actually almost done with the first round of the draft. The Browns pick is already in. Chicago's on the clock. We got 9 picks left in the first round, and then we're done. This draft is going by quickly. Browns pick is already in. They're picking 24. They got Spencer Fano at pick 9, the offensive tackle out of Utah. It could go wide receiver, maybe a edge.
No. The Bears are on the clock, almost halfway through their allotted 8 minutes. The pick is in for the Browns. Second choice of the night. They initially, if you know, on the 6th overall pick, they traded down 3 spots. The Chiefs moved up to take Mansour Delaney, and the Browns got Spencer Fano anyway, so they actually a 3-5. Like that, right? This one then is exciting. I have a mind who the next Browns can do. First of all, is he in there still set that
This has to be a wide receiver. I think Casey Concepcion goes to Cleveland. Or Omo Cooper.
With the 24th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Casey.
It is Casey Concepcion.
This Casey Concepcion from Texas A&M. He's going to Cleveland.
Yeah,
He's one of my favorite receivers entering this draft class.
This was a name that kept coming up, was Concepcion, because of the dynamic ability that he possessed.
I mean, I've seen a lot of Texas A&M's games, and it looks like he catches everything. Well, I mean, I've seen like it says he has too many drops, but he's quick. Once the ball is in his hands, he is gone.
That transition from catch to run, once he holds it in, he can really get.
He has to work on his catching though, but
Separation. That's 5 yards of separation at the goal line. And here's that return ability that I spoke of, which CD is someone who's been on those NFL games every week. You know that's back in vogue, having a returner with some value. Absolutely is. And when you're changing that field position, as you know, Joel Glenn, and starting offense,
he is going to Cleveland. He's going to be a weapon for either Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson.
Character of this kid, addressing the stutter, taking it head on. You know who else stuttered? Bo Jackson, Bill Walsh, both of them debated work.
So these are some of the pieces that they drafted in the last 2 years now. Because Deshaun Watson.
The Browns are actually drafting pretty well these last couple of seasons.
the Ohio State Alabama. It's was awesome last year. Now they've added Casey Concepcion. And finally,
This could be a safety.
first rounder, the Browns have taken for Texas A&M since.
Chicago lost the safety in free agency. So this could be a safety. I mean, I think the best offensive lineman already off the board. They could go wide receiver. The only other wide receiver I think there's two more wide receivers that could be first round picks. And that would be Omar Cooper and maybe Denzel Boston. Those are the only two receivers I think that are left on the board that I could see as a first round pick. Other than that, I think Chicago goes either some player on the defensive line or the safety out of Oregon, Dylan Diamond. I think those options are on the table for Chicago. I'll be shocked if if they go offensive line, all the best offensive line are already off the board. There might be one offensive lineman left that's first round, that has a first round grade on him. But I think that's it. Spencer Fano went 9 to the Browns. Francis went 10 to the Giants. Caden Proctor went 12 to Miami. The Ravens got the best guard in the draft. Blake Miller went to the Lions. The Panthers got Monroe Freeling. The Pittsburgh Steelers got the tackle out of Arizona State. I think that's about it. There might be like one more tackle that could be a first round pick. I think that's it. The Texans are now on the clock. The Texans traded up with Buffalo. Well, that's what I think.
During commercial break, the Houston Texans traded on 2 spots with the Bills. About to get the Bears 25th.
I think the Bears have to go defense.
Houston trades up for 2026. And they flipped Buffalo, a 3rd rounder and a 5th rounder this year. The 3rd rounder to be flipped, Cincinnati overall pick, is what Houston got last year from the Giants when they traded that in for Jacksonville. But they used that cap capital and it's this year to move up 2 spots and get a 3rd rounder from the Bills. First step. Let's get this on the Bears right. This year, when you're looking at it, it's looking some of my notes. They were trying to trade out. Why would they folks? That makes sense. You got was anyone here? So if you can get the standings,
I think it has to be the safety.
What's their top 2 available right now are safeties?
I think it's the safety out of Oregon. That's my guess.
With the 25th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Dylan.
It is the safety out of Oregon.
But he said was going to wind up in Minnesota is coming to the NFC North, but just the Chicago Bears have got to be excited about this
To
one.
visit twice. You get to it's played that Minnesota Vikings team a couple times, but it's a really good player who you had to go back and watch him at Purdue, along with what you saw at Oregon, to see his complete skill set and everything he's capable of doing. Look, Oregon's smart. They play great defense.
Yeah, that's a great pick by Chicago. You lost the safety in free agency in Brisker. He went to Pittsburgh, and Dylan Diamond falls to you at 25.
It's the season jumps in and goes and makes a play for low a foot down. Here he is, somebody being a little bit underneath, but then a huge play for Joe Klein. That was one game. And here he is, remember in the slot. A lot of teams feel like he can hold up as a nickel. All these good defenses have these bigger nickels.
I mean, everybody thought he was
He takes excellent.
everybody thought he was going straight to Minnesota at 18. And if not 18, then maybe Carolina at 19. But he fell all the way to Chicago at 25. So he gets to be in the same division with Minnesota. It's just he's playing on a different team.
It's Tossel Boy and Dan Lanning thought, hey, we can mimic what Ohio State did with Caleb Downs.
And the Dolphins just traded up with the Niners. So both the Bills and the Niners traded down
He's the type of guy that I think can
a couple picks.
and he's certainly a playmaker, but I don't agree with, when he's back free safety, that's when he's best.
This is a great pick by Chicago, though. They needed a safety. He's the second best safety in this class. He was the best safety remaining on the board.
Field is in pro there. But
I think there's only one more draftable safety that's a first round talent. His NFL comp is Harrison Smith, which is why people are saying he's going to Minnesota.
spots. I think Thieneman does the same thing, although I think you're right, Joel. His range back in the middle of the best part. But Harrison Smith, we need something. Go get it. Right now. Go get it. And that's what he did for so long in Minnesota. To put us on the back end, near the line of scrimmage, as a tackler, as a blitzer. Thieneman can do all of those things as well. I just love his instincts for the football.
Miami's just traded up from 30 to 27. The Niners traded back down, so Miami's on the clock, 27th overall. Houston, which is traded up from 28 to 26, their pick is in. We're waiting on that. Well, Dylan Thieneman is making his way to Laura Rutledge out on the stage. The latest Chicago Bear introduced you at the draft.
Dylan, you're a Chicago Bear. What stands out most to you about your journey to becoming a first-round draft pick?
Never knew what kind of path I was going to take. I mean, starting at Purdue, ended at Oregon, but I'm just extremely thankful for everyone that's been with me throughout the way and the journey I've gone on.
You grew up idolizing a safety and studying him a ton that people here know well in Troy Polamalu. What traits do you bring to the table that can make you the next best one for the Bears?
I think I'm very versatile. I'm able to use my speed and play recognition to play fast and play aggressive.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
The best available presented by American Express, Daniel. We choose to sit there and like, what a town. This place is lit up like this. The aerial shots might have been amazing. Not the best available, sir, but yeah, we're looking at three bridges, and we've got three names at the top. Emmanuel McNeil one, followed by two.
Yeah, he's the one safety left on the board that could be a first round pick.
He's not on the board right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Nearest bridge to us.
Has it only been one corner taken off the board?
It's a neat walk. The one next to that.
Only one corner went, and it was Mansour Delane, who the Chiefs traded up to get him.
That's great.
Every single other corner is still on the board.
Anderson to a massive deal. Anderson to a massive deal.
Who does Houston go with at 26?
with the 26th pick in the 2026 NFL.
I have guard. I have an offensive guard, offensive lineman.
Georgia Tech.
They go guard, not the guy that I thought they're gonna go with though.
And this is Kansas City, so we're singing the same song here because they have these good finishes. Just watch the stream.
I had the Houston Texans going guard in my mock draft, but I didn't have him going Rutledge.
Let's just watch this dude finish. Look at him, just keep going, driving, we're 20 yards down the field. We're not stopping until you're on the back, and that's what he does. And it's every single time you get to watch it. These are all finishes. You want to set a tone with your offensive line, this guy is going to be very popular with his running backs because of what he does in the run game.
Drake King, very to the coach, right? Out of Georgia Tech, this guy was the package player he's ever coached.
Yeah, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bottom. As a windshield, the Davis drafted.
The Dolphins, Bills, Chiefs, and Knockers if we look over our dashboard and through our windshield as the guys are also looking in the mirror at their new legs.
We got 6 picks left in the first round, and then we are done. The first round will be done. I think as of right now, if we're looking at like what picks shocked me, I would say Ty Simpson to the Rams at 13. And Cornell Tate to the Titans at 4. I think those 2 picks shocked me the most. Maybe Caden Proctor at 12, but he's a good offensive lineman, so I'm not really that shocked that Miami decided to go Proctor at 12. Maybe I'm a little bit shocked that the Vikings went defensive tackle instead of safety, but they did lose Jonathan Allen, I think, in free agency. I think Jonathan Allen went to, I want to say, Cincinnati. So Caleb Banks should fit in nicely in Minnesota. And then the Panthers getting Freeling, it's because Ike Ekwonu injured and is probably not going to be playing this upcoming season. Other than that, the draft's ending up kind of how I anticipated it to. So the Dolphins at 27. The Dolphins already picked Caden Proctor at 12. So they could go corner. I mean, every single corner is available. They need a corner. Holton Hood is still available.
So, we're finishing up the first round, and the first round here in Pittsburgh.
I'm going to say Miami goes corner at 27.
Second pick this first round is in. They moved down one spot and chose Hayden Proctor, the tackle out of Alabama. So the Cowboys moved up one spot, took 10 downs, and split Miami 2 5s. And Miami, moments ago,
moved up from 30 to make this choice. And again, this is the choice. Although here, which they got it at 30 because of that. You need that 26.
I mean, they do need a wide receiver as well. They could go Omar Cooper. I'm going to say Omar Cooper or Colton Hood. Those are my top two options for Miami.
With the 27th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Chris Johnson, defensive back, San Diego State.
That was not one of my options.
So they go defense, and they take Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. I think a very physical offensive lineman to start things off and Crawford. Now they'll take a very physical corner.
I probably would not have gone Chris Johnson this high in the first round, but you know, I probably would have drafted him in the second, maybe third.
Away corner. He's going to catch it, take it the other way as he did on this pick 6 when they blew the doors on the Cal Bears. Sorry, Mike Silver. Physical presence when he's coming up to tackle. They're going to love that in that defense. Coach Athlete's going to appreciate it. This Senior Bowl.
I mean, he locks receivers up. I will say that.
Rampant to the people expected, and then the guy in shorts. He is a strongly built dude who's going to be able to force the run. Some people think you need to go safety.
Well, you see Davis Day Marino in the back there. I think Aikman is somewhere in that room. At least he was expected to be. Ian, take it away.
But so we said the same for the Dallas Cowboys were on the 20 with everyone knowing they were going defense. Pittsburgh Steelers get on the phone with Makai Lemon, wanting to select it next at 21. Except what they didn't know is the Eagles had actually traded up over them. Were trying to get in touch with Lemon, but he wasn't answering because he was already on the phone with the Steelers. In the end, the Eagles do the trade. They get Makai Lemon, and the Steelers got a tackle right out.
Wow.
Oh.
Just trying to pass the time. And then he's on the phone with the Eagles and the Steelers. He's on the phone with the Steelers. With the Steelers and the Eagles couldn't get hold of him, but the call of a lifetime is what the Eagles are tweeting out right now.
What happens to the phone in Rich? Then you can get your call.
New England's pick is in. Buffalo traded down again.
How many people have blown me from the Commonwealth here? Well, we got the call from the Eagles, and that's the one that matters because they made the trade with the Cowboys.
So New England's New England's pick is in.
He just moved down twice. So the Patriots with their first pick, the AFC champion Patriots on top. No more.
In the 2026 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Caleb Lemieux, tackle Utah.
That was the other tackle that I think would have been a first round pick.
Top 50 on the board through 28 picks. It has been a buttload of them. We have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tackles.
That's a lot of offensive tackles in the first round.
What's the left tackle? And here's all Spencer Fongo is right side. The Patriots, this is going to be fascinating now. You go over to the right side, yes. Also could be some insurance there. We'll see what happens with Will Campbell going forward as well. Those will be the 2 tackles for them in the future.
New England got Caleb Lomo. How do you pronounce his last name? Lomu? Caleb Lomu? And they got Will Campbell. Lomu he's good.
Worried about not a lot of bad plays along the way, plenty of experience, and everyone talks about, sounds like we're really a Pro Bowl. Remember when he left the Colts, what it was like over there? So they found Bernard Rogers. You got to have those guys. I think it's a big deal. And the Super Bowl, except for finding need for this offensive line for New England. Morgan Moses on the right side. Let's see what that means for him going forward.
Rich, big credit to Jim Harden, the offensive line coach at Utah. 2 first-rounders here. I just want to get a big reference to guys. He's the new offensive line coach at Michigan. That's just for you. There's another the final four.
Last 4 picks of the first round. The Chiefs pick is in. Niners are on the clock. Buffalo traded down multiple times in this draft. Well, not multiple times, but I guess multiple times because they had the 26th pick and they traded down from Houston. And then they traded down again with New England. So they traded down multiple times, and now Buffalo's sitting at 31. Chiefs at 29. They already got their corner in Mansour Delane when they traded up with Cleveland. So I think at 29, 29, they could go wide receiver. Or I mean, all the good offensive tackles are already off the board. I think they go either someone on the defensive line. The Jets just traded back into the first round. Are the Jets about to draft 3 people in the first round? Yeah, they are. The Jets might be getting their quarterback. You don't trade back into the first round unless you're probably trading for, getting a quarterback. Are there going to be 3 quarterbacks drafted in the first round? People thought there was only going to be 1. And now we might be seeing 3 quarterbacks drafted in round 1.
Presented by Lexus, there have been a ton of trades in the last 20 minutes, including a Jet moving back into the first round using the first pick of tomorrow night's draft. The pop back in the 50th overall pick. The Niners just traded out the first round to move back. And the Niners were 27th overall, traded down so Miami could take Chris Johnson. And then just traded out from tomorrow night. The Jets are moving back in. It says their 3rd first-round pick shortly, but the 2nd first-round pick of the Chiefs is coming up.
I think they already got their corner. So I think they either go someone on the defensive line, an edge rusher. I don't think they go wide receiver. I mean, Omar Cooper is still available. They could go Omar Cooper.
It's the Chiefs' 2nd pick of the night to go with
They could go Omar Cooper.
In the 26 NFL draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Peter Woods.
They go Peter Woods. I was right on that one. I had Peter Woods going to Kansas City in my mock draft. I said they needed defensive line, and I had Peter Woods going in my first mock draft, not my most recent mock draft. but I had Peter Woods on my post-combine mock draft. Oh, no. But yeah, post-combine, pre-free agency mock draft, going Peter Woods at 29. I knew they needed defensive line help, and I think Peter Woods, he's a really good defensive tackle.
And getting the rock, Dabo having some fun with him, and you knew he was confident he was going to score because there's predetermined celebrations there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had 5 carries last year, Joel. One of them.
Yeah, he's a perfect chief, I think. Great pick. Chiefs are nailing their draft picks already. Mansour Delane at pick 6. And then now Peter Woods at pick 29.
Get your own, but right now, take on some people, take on some blockers, and give Chris Jones some space.
What I loved about him is that he played with tremendous effort in both the pass game and against the run. He could fill it up. But you're right, DJ.
I mean, you pair Peter Woods with Chris Johnson. You pair Peter Woods with Chris Jones. That is going to be a lethal 1-2 punch in the interior of that defensive line in Kansas City. The Jets pick is in. They traded back into the first round. This has to be for a quarterback, right?
The Jets now have 3.
I mean, yeah, they have, 3 first-round picks next year.
Was the pick that just used to flip to San Francisco to move back into the first round.
I mean, who else would the Jets pick? Some sort of maybe an offensive lineman?
They no longer hold the first pick tomorrow night. That now belongs to San Francisco. Nobody ties a bull like Rich Eisen. You were able to pull all this stuff and then Jack Gaines this stuff and down.
Online prediction for their 18 years ago when they had 3 in the first round until they had this traded back in.
We're the 30th pick in the 2026 NFL draft. The New York Jets select Omar Cooper Jr.
It is Omar Cooper. They traded back into the first round to get Omar Cooper.
Him 16. Now they're taking him 30th. And there he goes. Putting his jet hat on. He's going to New York. Now they just waited in this and they got him on sale. We get him there at the bottom of the first round.
That is great value for the Jets.
Foundation building this apparatus for their quarterback in the future. We think that's coming next year. In the meantime, we've got it for Gino.
Yeah.
Gino's got some firepower.
First of all, he was not one of these transfers with Kurt Signetti. Everyone believes that entire team was just a transfer team. No, not Omar Cooper. He started in Indiana. Sig got there. He stayed there and competed. This guy is Debo White. I love that comparison, DJ. You made that. I would also make that. And I love what he does with the ball in his hands after the catch. DJ, I think that's where he's most.
So they traded back into the first round to get Omar Cooper.
He just breaks 2 tackles and fights for everything.
And the Jets drafted 3 players in round 1.
Now with Cooper, Gino didn't have to hang back there very long. Get the ball out of these guys like.
Yeah, save the picks. Save your first round picks next year to go get a quarterback. And just get weapons and good players if you're the Jets.
I was watching that game at home and saying
The QB class next year is way better than this year. So Omar Cooper is heading to the Jets at pick 30.
How many great catches on that? Oh my goodness, between him and Beckford.
The Titans just traded back into the first round.
You keep on talking about how teams, when they're down at the bottom of the pack, the bottom of the heap, you want to keep on having talented players and amassing them. How is David Bailey
Kenan Sadiq and Omar Cooper strike there for the Jets tonight.
They got fast. They got real fast. When we look at the way that Bailey plays coming off of the edge, and then you think about what Sadiq does, those are two of the more athletic guys in the class. And then Cooper, again, it's really guys with the football.
Geno Smith now has some really good weapons. They got Kenan Sadiq at 16, and they came back into the first round and got Omar Cooper.
6th overall, only to have them trade down to 28th.
Nice job, Jets. Nice job.
The choice. We'll see you tomorrow night, as Jack Falk once famously said.
I'm not being sarcastic. Those are really great draft picks by the Jets. And the Titans just traded back into the first round.
To find out. Remember, they was seems to see. Oh, yeah, they took already. Yeah, it's who's left defensively for them. Yeah, we start looking if we're going to look at the edge rusher group, but what we have left.
It has to be defense. They got Cornell Tate at pick 4.
And it's kind of crazy. Seattle, which we've heard was eager to trade out. They'd be happy to trade out. They're one of the few, but honestly, like, the Bills didn't stick and pick. The last team to stick and pick was Kansas City, but that was a pick they acquired. The last team that just had their pick and stick with it was the Bears 25th. We'll see if Seattle is going to be the first one since then, but we'll see who the Titans have traded back in. A long time ago, the biggest eyebrow raise of the draft, one would say. You know, obviously Jeremiah Love going 3.
So what does the Titans do with this 31st overall pick? They traded back into the first round for a reason. It has to be for a defensive player. Because they got Tate at pick 4. This has to be a defensive player.
Before the Titans pick, congratulations, you set a record for the first night of the draft. 320 people were tonight.
Wow.
With the 31st pick in the 2026 NFL draft, the Tennessee Titans select Kendrick Falk.
They do go an edge. Kendrick Falk is a Tennessee Titan.
To me, that's right about where I thought he belonged to. He's my 29th overall player. They got him at what?
I actually had him going to the Chiefs in my most recent mock draft at 29. He just falls a couple picks down later. And the Titans traded back up to go get him.
People were questioning.
Titans needed to get some sort of defensive lineman. We thought maybe at pick 4. We thought maybe at pick 4 they'd go defensive line, but they went Tate at 4. So they waited till near the end of the first round, traded back into the first round, and got Kendrick Falk, edge out of Auburn. He's a good edge rusher. They needed edge. They got it.
Playing for Robert Saleh in San Francisco, that long, really good run defender on the edge. Similar type of player here. Remember Jalen Blanco doing a little bit of that projection to become a pass rusher, going to Atlanta and doing that last year out of Georgia. I think this kid is dynamite. And when you talk to people down there in Auburn and talk to people around that program, they cannot say enough good things about him. They love and who he is and what he's about. And that's something Tennessee definitely needs. And by the way, Jeffrey Simmons endorses this pick.
I bet he does. You know, I just love seeing the ecstatic look of the lead, right? And waiting 30 picks to hear his name. He's wondering, am I going to hear my name tonight?
Who's wanted, who wants me, and then teams like, well, trade back in the first thing up for that. And Robert Sala is the one who's basically, all gas, no brakes.
He's almost 6'6", 200, almost 280 pounds. Seahawks on the clock. Do they trade out or do they stay at 32?
Wow, building back in high school. Are you cruising the full reflect? Is that a red flag? Stickers in the church failure to you. When you watch this dude, these are some of the flashes that you do see. Want to see more of it off the edge for that. Yeah, that length, he's very long. Want to see him use that length a little more consistently. I thought it showed up a little bit better when he rushed inside. With the edge, but here he is again wrapping around blocks and making plays, and then the effort is always there. You see it when he's doing the chase and make plays. Here he is against Mendoza, back in the old Cal days for Mendoza. He got hit a bunch of that ball game. Mendoza didn't have Omar football on the outside. Different best at it's the 31st overall picks of the 2026 draft meeting in the pocket back in that day. We've got the final pick of the draft. Night one coming up.
You said in kindergarten that you wanted to play in the NFL. Tonight that dream becomes a reality. How would you describe it?
I don't even know how to feel right now. I'm like, I don't even know. I'm happy.
You should be happy, and your versatility is a defining feature of your game, your ability to line up inside and outside along the D line. How do you think Robert Saleh can get the best out of you?
Just by putting me where we need to win, and then using me all across the D line. This is what I do, and that's how I play.
Congratulations.
Here's the man. Thank you.
So, the Seattle Seahawks final pick.
Do they stay and pick or are they trading? Nope, they are staying and picking at 32.
Pennsylvania. There's just been nothing short of awesome. And there's the Seattle draft room. There's John Schneider dapping it up. So the defending Super Bowl champs.
Do they go corner or running back?
Who they have selected as the Seahawks pick is in. You can already see the 7 minutes for the 49ers starting tomorrow night's draft is already on the clock. The commissioner making his way.
They could go Price out of Notre Dame, the running back, because they lost Kenneth Gainwell, not Kenneth Gainwell. They lost Kenneth Walker. They could go corner or edge.
This is such a screaming need that sometimes it's
Corner, edge, or running back.
may not be ready to go.
And the Super Bowl MVPs.
As we conclude round one of the 2026 NFL Draft, we're proud to continue recognizing our long-standing partnership with Make-A-Wish this World Wish Month. I'm thrilled to be joined by Dylan, a huge fan of the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, who bravely battled a brain tumor and is now a two-time cancer survivor. This is a wish come true for Dylan, and a chance to take part in one of the most exciting moments in our league. Dylan, when you're ready, stage is yours. On 7-7, the Dylan runs up the 12. Aisle. With the 32nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Jadarian.
They go Price. They do go Price. Yeah.
Sometimes it just fits you there. Yeah, the running back position fell off a cliff after this one. There's going to be a long way before we see another one. Vision, you saw the kickoff return value there.
Both Notre Dame running backs are now off the board.
There's a reason why we
Jeremiah Love went 3 to Arizona, and Price went 32 to the Seattle Seahawks. He might be the #1 back in Seattle this season, with Zach Charbonnet dealing with I think it was a torn ACL. That's a good pick.
I love his instincts. And I was asked a couple times about his range. I said some of the
They needed to find a replacement for
They had to, and by the way, this guy
Kenneth Walker.
touchdowns in high school. Got to Notre Dame, tore his Achilles his freshman year. The large reason why he ended up being the backup for Jeremiah Love. But I'd say if they have to do this because of their running back situation, Kenneth Walker walks out the door. Now you can fill that hole with Jadarian Price. You still have Charbonnet, although there is some question about that injury at the injury to playoff. But make no mistake about it, you had to get somebody you could give the ball to help Sam Darnold.
That's a good first round of the NFL draft.
It's the first pair of teammate running backs drafted in the same first round since 2008 when Felix Jones and Darren McFadden came out of Auburn's. But this is the first instance that the first two running backs taken in an NFL draft ever come from the same school.
It's pretty strong. Remember that Arkansas backfield?
Yeah.
There was a third back. Peyton Hillis.
That's right.
Who ended up being on the cover of Madden.
undercover agent. One of the questions about him was the limited touches and how does that project? We haven't seen him touch the ball as much.
Right.
Look up Josh Jacobs' numbers and compare them.
And the odometer is low, and this is good.
All right. First round is in the books. Game day final is still to come here on the NFL Network, but we'll return from Pittsburgh PA. Not one.
That was a great night one.
The stars come off the board. Written by one. Tears flowing. And a very emotional, fun, dramatic, unpredictable first night. Nationwide is so much more than a great issue.
That was a great first round of the NFL draft. That was a good draft. My Washington Commanders ended up drafting Sony Styles at 7. That's exactly who I wanted. And then Carolina ended up getting Monroe Freeling, the tackle out of Georgia. And then the Jets, the Titans traded back into the first round and got the Jets traded back into the first round and drafted the third player in the first round, Omar Cooper Jr., after drafting Kenan Sadiq at 16 and David Bailey at 2. And then the Titans traded back into the first round to get Kedrick Falk at 31 after they drafted Cornell Tate, who I was shocked that they drafted him at 4. But they decided to give Cam Ward a weapon and then wait till later to draft a edge rusher.
Rich Eisen, Joe Firefox, please. Good to see Charles Davis and Daniel Jeremiah hanging with us. Your impressions of night one, Daniel Jeremiah?
Well, I thought the two things about tonight were mystery and movement. Like, there was great mystery of what was going to happen. We didn't really have a great feel for this draft. And then we thought there might be a lot of movement because of that. And I mean, I don't know how Rich kept up with all these trades tonight. It was insane, the amount of movement, especially in the back half of the first round. But I thought teams recognized where the value was this year. They were able to position themselves to get all these offensive linemen, and they all came off the board. Teams identified when runs were going to take place. I thought there was some art to the way the draft went down this year.
Mystery, movement, Rich being able to not just keep up with everything, but give us the provenance of each pick. I mean, I did it from 4 years ago. But guys, the thing that I took away from it is, despite all that mystery and movement, it felt to me like everyone kind of got something that they wanted out of this one tonight. No one was going home going, well, major consolation prize. New England at the end making that move to get a tackle when the offensive line had been decimated in the Super Bowl told you a lot. But all in all, I felt like even teams when you thought the target's not there, but they still got something that they needed. And I thought that was a big thing in the first round. It'd be very interesting what happens at the top of the second round now, because the quarterback's off the table now.
Ty Simpson, I was shocked.
Or programs to college and to the NFL. First for Indiana, what a year. To cap off a year when you win your national championship and you've got the first pick in the draft, you have a Heisman.
Yeah, I was shocked that Ty Simpson went 13 to the Rams. I wasn't completely shocked because Wes Snead was when I think it was Ian Rappaport tweeted that Les Snead of the Rams said that Ty Simpson is a first round pick. I kind of thought, okay, he's gonna draft. He's possibly gonna draft him at 13. I didn't think that was gonna happen, but there was an idea that if the Rams GM said he is a first round pick, it would fear, kind of like you said he was a first round pick and then you passed on him kind of thing. I mean, maybe, another team down here could have drafted him. Possibly. It was a good draft, though. The Jets came out of the first round with a haul of players. I mean, the Jets got David Bailey at 2. They stayed put at 16 and got Kenan Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon. and then they traded back into the first round and got Omar Cooper, the wide receiver out of Indiana. And the Titans also traded back into the first round and drafted Kendrick Falk after they got Cornell Tate at 4. I would say the surprising picks again would be Cornell Tate at 4. Ty Simpson at 13. Maybe a little bit surprised that the Vikings didn't go safety, but I'm not like, I'm not totally surprised they went a different direction, but. And then Malachi Lemon ending up on Philadelphia. You kind of knew Dallas was going to go all defense. In the first round, they needed to fix that defense. I mean, they didn't have to, coming from a Commandos fan. They could have just let their defense suck. I would have been okay with that. They could have just had a really bad defense. I would have been 100% okay with that. Just forget about defense. If you're Dallas, just don't draft. Just go nuts. But they actually drafted 2 really good defensive players. I knew Peter Woods was going to end up on Kansas City. Price to the Seahawks made a lot of sense. I mean, they lost Kenneth Walker in free agency. He went to Kansas City. And then Zach Charbonnet is injured. He tore his ACL like late in the season. I think during the playoffs, I think he did. So Price might go into Seattle and actually start as the lead back for that team. So that's the end. That's officially the end of the first day of the NFL draft. Just a summary of what the first round consisted of. The Las Vegas Raiders, with the first pick, ended up going Fernando Mendoza, like expected. The Jets at number 2 went David Bailey, edge out of Texas Tech. The Arizona Cardinals went Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. One of the shocking picks is the Tennessee at pick 4 went Cornell Tate, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. The Giants at 5 went Arvell Reese. The Chiefs traded up with the Browns and had to give up their third round pick and their 5th round pick to go up a couple of spots to get Mansour Delane, corner out of LSU. My Washington Commanders got Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State, which is exactly the pick that I wanted the Commanders to draft, and they did. So I am 100% happy with that. The Saints at 8 got Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State. The Cleveland Browns at 9 got Spencer Fano, tackle out of Utah. The Giants got the tackle out of Miami at 10. The Dallas Cowboys, after trading down, they traded up from 12 to 11. They got Caleb Downs, the safety out of Ohio State. The Dolphins at 12 got Caden Proctor, tackle out of Alabama. Another shocking pick was the Rams at 13. They got Ty Simpson. They're looking at the future after Matthew Stafford retires. The Ravens at 14 got the best guard in the class. Tampa at 15 got Ruben Bain, who fell to him at 15. Edge out of Miami. The New York Jets with their second first-round pick at 16 got Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon. The Lions at 17 got Blake Miller, offensive tackle out of Clemson. Kind of knew the Lions were going to go tackle. I thought it would be Caden Proctor, but Caden Proctor went off the board at 12. So the Lions ended up going Blake Miller. The Vikings at 18 went defensive tackle Caleb Banks out of Florida and not the safety out of Oregon. The Panthers at pick 19 went Monroe Freeling, the offensive tackle out of Georgia. We don't know who. I know we signed Rashad Walker, former Packers tackle, in free agency, and Ike Ekwonu got injured last season, so this could be a replacement for Ike Ekwonu, which means, is Ike Ekwonu's time in Carolina done? Are we looking at the new left tackle in Carolina? This guy's 6'7", 315 pounds. He might be a little bit better than Ike Ekwonu. And if that's the case, and this is, Ike Ekwonu's replacement, I'm not mad at it. The Eagles at pick 20 got Malachi Lemon. They traded up to go get him. The Pittsburgh Steelers at 21 got an offensive tackle out of Arizona State. The Los Angeles Chargers at 22 got Akeem Mesidor, edge out of Miami. The Cowboys with the 23rd pick got Malachi Lawrence, edge. The Browns at 24 got one of my favorite receivers coming into the draft, Casey Concepcion, wide receiver out of Texas A&M. The Chicago Bears at 25 stayed put, and they drafted safety Dylan Thyman. The Houston Texans at 26 got a guard, not the guard I was expecting them to get, but he's a good guard. I just thought maybe the guard that Houston drafted might have, fallen to the second round. Miami at 27 drafted Chris Johnson. I did not have Chris Johnson going in the first round. I had the Miami Dolphins going in a different direction at corner. I had him going Colton Hood, corner out of Tennessee, in my mock drafts. Not Chris Johnson, but they needed a corner. I thought Hood from Tennessee would have been the better option, but that's just my opinion. New England at 28 got Caleb Lomu, tackle out of Utah. Is he going to be the new left tackle in New England? And they're going to push Will Campbell into guard? Or are they going to put Caleb Lomu to right tackle? And they're going to have Will Campbell stay at left tackle? We don't know yet. We'll see what happens. The Chiefs at 29 went Peter Woods. I had Peter Woods going to Kansas City in my first mock draft. I thought because, you pair up Peter Woods with Chris Jones, that would be a lethal 1-2 punch at defensive tackle. And then as soon as Chris Jones, either his contract runs out or he decides to retire, he can, become the defensive tackle in Kansas City. The Jets at pick 30 traded back into the first round with the San Francisco 49ers, and they got Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver out of Indiana. The Titans traded back into the first round as well at 31, and they drafted an edge, Kendrick Folk, out of Auburn. I thought they would go defensive line or edge rusher. At pick 4, they decided to wait till later in the draft and trade up into the first round and get their guy. And then with the last pick of the first round, the Seattle Seahawks got running back Price out of Notre Dame to replace who they lost in Kenneth Walker. And Zach Charbonnet is injured. So Price is probably walking into Seattle as the starting running back. Possibly. He's possibly walking into Seattle as the number 1 back. Well, that's the end of the first round. I will be back live streaming for day 2 of the draft for rounds 2 and rounds 3. So make sure to check that out. And that's going to be it. Day 1 of the draft has completed, and we are looking into day 2 of the NFL draft. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on day 2 of the NFL draft.